Good evening. Thank you for joining us again. We are the London Indie Underground. My name is Jimmy James, man with the face for radio. We're broadcasting live from the Vault Recording Studio, Adelaide and Princess, here in beautiful London, Ontario. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, which could very well be, because our listenership has grown over the past couple of weeks.
What up with that?
Yeah, I know, eh? No surprise.
It's like we're offering that free chicken promo again.
Well, Joel's not here, but
No.
if he was here, we'd have some chicken for everybody. So if you don't know what we're all about, London Indie Underground is London's only independent music podcast showcasing some of our area's most talented artists, bands, and personalities. Joining me, as always, the color man, Gary Begner.
One of those bright personalities.
Good to see you, Gary.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I don't often get to see you through the week, but
busy,
always
yeah.
looking forward to our Wednesday nights
Our
together,
hangs.
our chills.
I'm with you.
And you've been busy, Gary. You've been telling me Shirt for Brains is just going crazy right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it is. It's weird. It's like supposed to be the slow part of the season, but I'm busy. But it has a lot to do with like some of the people getting a hold of me from here, and then I've got a friend's band that's going on tour in Europe on the 11th. A band called Foursquare. Simon Head, one of the original bass player from Trigger Happy.
Oh, nice.
Actually, he's the guy who got me in Trigger Happy when I played with them. Anyways, he's got his own project called Foursquare, and they're off to Europe on the 11th to tour for a bit. So I'm just doing a whack of stuff for them as well. And then Doug Vardy's Order we just finished, and
Go.
bunch of other stuff.
Tis the season.
Tis the season to be busy. I guess.
Some of these orders, are they Christmas related, or is it just seasonal?
Well, no, I think I know with the Doug Vardy's, it's just he wants merch for his gigs, so people can leave with a little piece of Doug. And I know a Foursquare, same thing. They just want to advertise and have swag. And one of my orders, can't say officially who it is, Siggy. It said something about a Christmas kind of theme, perhaps. I don't know. Little things like that. But yeah, most of it's just that. And I've got a friend out in BC who's asked me to do a 50 Shades of Greg T-shirt for his wife, which I thought was kind of funny. But
Cool. Did you bring some shirts for us?
they're in the front. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But the Merkin one I didn't bring.
No?
No, I was going to bring it for when next time we have that special guest again.
Okay.
Or the Merkin brother.
Oh, we'll have to bring him in.
The Merkin Brotherhood.
I think he's more than happy to join us anytime.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Although, actually, we're speaking of Siggy. I
Mm-hmm.
tweaked his back out, and I was texting him, and he was laying down on some table, and pretty much in traction, couldn't move.
Really?
So I feel bad for him. So Siggy, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
I know he was in rough shape, but if a Merkin shirt will make you feel better, buddy, we'll be happy to send you one in the mail.
Interestingly enough, two producers, both bad backs.
Right.
Dan,
Yeah.
Siggy.
And there's a third, actually, Michael Marucci, who's here as part of Red Amber
Michael,
Green.
yeah,
Same
yeah.
thing. He's got sciatica too.
Yeah, I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw he mentioned that with Dan.
I don't know, man. I don't know if there's a connection to us here, but I hope not.
Fuck, I'm getting out of producing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna write shit songs going forward. 3-song pop crap. I'm good.
Very
Me
excited.
and Miley.
Very excited by to be joined today by a couple of our guests. You've probably seen our tweets and our posts up on Facebook. Today joining us is a good friend of mine, Mr. James Leacock from SoCan Music and formerly from Zuul's Evil Disco. James?
Hey, Jimmy.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, man.
Good. We spun some Zuuls last week.
Yeah, pancakes, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was great. It was a bit of a throwback. I don't know if you didn't have a chance to check out the podcast, which last week our guest was Dan Broadbeck. And I apologize because I did have people messaging me and asking me when it was going to be posted up. And it is now available on our YouTube channel. If you go www.youtube.com/LondonIndieUG, you can see our back catalogs. This is our 12th podcast. So last week, Indie Stream 11 featured Dan Broadbeck. And we got to spin a bunch of the tracks, and we told some of the stories.
Producer.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to have him here. And also joining us today, another good friend of mine from going back a little ways, Mr. Ryan Valdron from 103 Fresh FM. Ryan,
greetings, gentlemen. Greetings.
See, you're the one with the trained radio voice here, so I should just turn this baby over to you.
Oh, man. Well, usually it's a little bit more pretty, but I don't know if I'm starting to come down with something. I will keep my distance from you guys, and I will hand sanitize this microphone up. But I don't know. Something feels like it's going.
I saw you on
today.
Twitter, and you said
Did
something
you?
about feeling like a bag of shit or
Yeah,
something.
I felt
and
like
I was
a
like,
sack of dog crap like yesterday. But I woke up today, and I'm like, oh, the podcast is tonight. This is going to get me through the day.
Show must go on.
And exactly, man.
And he came down with a nice mustache, though.
Yeah. It's Movember, obviously. I get to shave it off in a couple days because
Yeah.
December 1st is Saturday.
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 That's correct.
This is the best I've done in donations the last couple of years. I'm up to just under $150 this year.
Good for you, man.
So yeah,
Good for you. It's a great cause. I mean, we all look like assholes, but
So itchy.
it's for a good cause.
I just look like
gotta-
an asshole normally because I don't grow one. So everyone's like, "What's up with you? You don't have to believe in the cause?" I'm like, "Sure." I just don't believe in growing facial hair because I just look like a freaking freak.
I've been growing this Lemmy over here, and
Mhm.
it's really pronounced when I trim, any of the stubble, but which I haven't because it just looks really sleazy. But, and you know what? I'm not even taking donations. I just wanted to look like a dick.
nice.
Yeah.
November's the
That's-
time to do it. You
Yeah,
know?
that is the issue, right? All the people harassing the guy who shaves all the time about, "Don't you?" And it's like, "Are you raising money?" No. Okay, so shut it.
And also trickling in a little bit late.
The
is
bearded god.
The bearded god. Our friend and yours, Mr. Jason Rorda, is going to be taking some photos for us, as always. He's our local paparazzi. Jason, you don't have a microphone, but how are you, pal?
Good.
Good?
Dude, that's some crazy beard, man.
Isn't it, though?
That's awesome.
I hear you're better.
I'm better
Yeah, I saw your little update there about
being unemployed.
having some free time.
Yeah, I got a lot of free time now.
Yeah.
My job was terminated on Monday.
Wow.
Ooh.
So
It's the timing. part.
Sorry to hear that, buddy.
It's
why couldn't
horrendous.
they do it in the summer?
Yeah, exactly. When you want something,
Yeah,
when there's something to
I'd
do.
be out on the beach right now.
Good news is you can now plan for the summer,
Yes.
and you don't have to go outside when it's freezing cold.
Yes.
You can just-
and I can take lots of pictures now.
Exactly. The promo is still on, people. $50 photo shoot.
I need it now.
Yeah, Jay actually needs it now. He's wearing a scuba suit today just because he can't afford a jacket. So
Scuba Steve.
scuba Steve.
So we're going to get to some music here. Before we do, we'll just kind of tee up the program for today. So we're going to be having some discussions, as we always do, about not only the state of the music industry, but also to give some perspective to the independent music or musician rather, and the casual listener on some of the resources that are available to you, and some feedback to help you navigate through this crazy world that is the music industry today. And I firmly believe that the two guests that we have today kind of represent the industry from the radio station's perspective, and so can in terms of artist rights management. So we'll get into some healthy conversation. I'm looking forward to some of the feedback that you guys are going to be able to provide. So that said, we're going to move to some music here, and I did have a request. Courtney Parker is sitting at home, I believe, with my brother Moss, and had requested to listen to a song from a good friend of ours, Mr. Eric Soini, formerly of Zuul's Evil Disco, and had ventured off onto his own to record a solo album, and he did a cover of a Queens of the Stone Age song called Monsters in the Parasol, which I figured I might as well spin for you.
It's timely. Nick's back in the band, kind of.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
maybe we can talk about that after. All right, so this is E-Tron, or otherwise known as E, from the album Leftovers. This is Monsters in the Parasol on London Indie Underground.
Things
with Monsters in the Parasol here on London Indie Underground. That track is a cover of Queens of the Stone Age song, and is a track that was actually recorded in my studio at home. This is
Okay.
before I moved into the building. And I actually have a funny story about that recording. So Eric, I'm not sure if he'll be listening tonight. I hope that he is, because I'm sure he'll find this amusing. So I happened to go upstairs, and Eric was downstairs and fiddling around. And Eric's, he's a savvy guy and can navigate through recording equipment, but he's not an engineer by any means, and he would admit that. So he was messing around with some of the effects that we had applied to, I think it was a guitar track or a vocal, I can't remember specifically. So I came downstairs after having left him for maybe 10, 15 minutes. And so I come down, and so he's got the sound dialed in, and I'm like, dude, what is that sound? And he's like, I don't know, man, but it's awesome. I really like it. And we were kind of freaking out because we thought it was pretty cool. What was funny is when he hit the space bar to stop the track, and I'm looking at the speakers, and I can see the woofers on the speakers moving like about a half an inch to an inch back and forth in this pulsating fashion. But of course, we can't hear the sound. All we see is the speakers that are pulsating. So I didn't change it. I left it in there. So if you happen to be listening to that song and you can physically see your speakers, you will see your speakers moving in and out of your cabinets. No, it's not making a sound. Maybe it's something a dog could hear or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's the brown note, and if you turn it up too loud, you're going to lose control.
That's crazy.
But I thought it was pretty funny. So to this day, that's kind of one of the little secrets of that album that we did. And that was going back quite a while ago. If I'm not mistaken, that album's probably the better part of 7 or 8 years old, I think.
It's a while, yeah, because we wrote a song. Well, I contributed part of a song, potentially French song.
Right.
Yeah, and actually, I think I was sitting on this exact couch.
You were.
I totally was. Wow.
You were. This
Full
couch
circle,
will follow
man.
me everywhere.
It's full circle.
And everybody that comes in here always comments on this couch, which I think is the coolest couch in existence. I do need to get it reupholstered eventually, but in order to do that, it's a pretty substantial amount of money. And
You're gonna keep it red, right?
and yeah, absolutely.
This is the only coach I've actually seen that has like a coffee table built into
It's
it.
a lazy Susan, dude. You
lazy-
spin that little
yeah,
door
those
open,
things.
and
Oh,
that's where we keep.
Incredible.
Now this is.
I won't tell you what we keep in there.
I was telling you this when I came. I don't know if you heard me. A friend of mine the other day actually had sent me a picture of this awesome couch that somebody had thrown out on like last week for garbage pickup, and fuck, wouldn't you know, it was the twin of this one, only in baby blue.
Are you kidding?
I'm not-
That
Wow.
actually would look really cool in baby blue, I think.
Yeah, and it was in great shape, but trying to get anybody in the city to have a truck or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no way we can get
And this
I
thing
wouldn't
probably
be able
weighs
to
it.
sit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes in 3 pieces, does it not, Jim?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the two that you gentlemen are sitting on are the sectionals, and then that piece is the centerpiece. And this, I've seen various setups of this couch over the years because it was in my grandparents' basement. So they had it set it up. That was like the little bar den at one point, and these two were put together along one wall. And I've had it set up in different ways, but and
Crazy.
James is taking a photo.
Yeah, I'll tweet that out.
Do it.
Yeah, there's not enough love for the couch.
We need more couch love here,
Yeah.
London, Indiana.
Or loving on the couch.
Yeah.
That too.
Dep-
Chin chin.
Yeah, depending on what happens
Has
at
this
night.
couch been loved on? Is it safe to sit on?
Well,
I-
it's
No
really,
comment.
No comment at all.
No
The
comment.
chair I'm sitting in, I've always been scared of since the day that it was here.
Everybody comes in and they think that's a ratty old bastard of a chair, but the truth is it was actually painted that way from an artist
Really?
to make it look like it was old and gnarly, but it's not. It's an artisan's chair.
Well,
So now you know.
still doesn't mean I'm not freaked out when I go to sit in it every time, thinking to myself, how many sweaty asses have sat in it? If I
It
was
still
to-
doesn't make you look thin, Gary.
No, true. And if I was to blacklight it, how much would this thing glow?
See that thing from
Hey.
space.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Right on. All right, so we're gonna get to another track here, and I just want to take a minute to thank all of the bands that continue to support us and send in music. Obviously, we're nothing without you. London Indie Underground, as much as we're about the message and the content in terms of our discussions here, really it's about the music. And, that's what we're looking to support. So if you happen to be in a band, this may be your first time listening in. I know word of mouth has really gotten around in the last little while, and you would like to send us some music, you can certainly get into contact with us. You can send us an email at londonindieug@hotmail.com. Send us an MP3. Make sure it's your best stuff. We're happy to spin it for you. And this song, the next one I'm going to spin, is a band that's really been supportive of us. And we're looking forward to having them on potentially in the new year for an interview. As a matter of fact, one of the gentlemen had messaged me saying that they had run a record label, I believe out west, if I'm not mistaken, and they'd like to come in and kind of share the story behind it. So this song is called The House Ablaze by Messes and Miracles on the London Indie Underground. Messes and Miracles on the London Indie Underground. One of the bands that have sent us in some tracks, and if you would like to too, please do, because we'd love to spin it for you, and we're looking forward to having those guys on in the new year. I know we are booked out through December, and we're going to be making a couple announcements for January, but we're looking to hammer down a couple of dates, and we are always looking for guests. If you'd like to come on our program and contribute, give us your thoughts and perspective, we more than welcome it. So, gentlemen, let's get into a little bit of local discussion, because we do like to include all things London, not just music related.
Nope.
So a lot of news lately. The big one being our mayor Jofo in a lot of trouble. As a matter of fact, I saw today that This Hour Has 22 Minutes did a little parody on what's been happening. And you know what? I'm sad to say I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but I'm sure it's awesome. And it's kind of spread like wildfire. So the essential premise of what he did, because I know there's three criminal charges against him.
Yeah.
All of one was for fraud. One was for forging.
Mhm.
I think two of them were for fraud.
Yeah, one is, what is it? Knowledge of passing on a forged document.
Knowledge of passing on a forged
Yeah,
document.
which is basically, I guess what they're saying is that's the big one.
Okay.
Like, from what I've been reading and stuff, that's the big, like, whoa, you don't do that. So either way, I'm still looking at the three of them going like, so why is the one worse than him taking our money and then spending it on his kid's wedding for a deposit? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, oh, man.
Now this is dating back to what, 2005?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a while back, yeah.
Yeah, it's only come to light now. Now I don't know if somebody had an axe to grind with him.
Well, I think just in that, I think it's already, like, it came to light a long time ago. It just takes the process. They can't come out and attack anything until they've
takes
got enough.
5 to 7 years before they react on stuff. Eh?
Well, look at,
is that a commentary on our
well, yeah, completely. Well, it's like Toronto, right?
judicial
Like-
system?
Like, how long has Ford's thing been going on until
Right.
now? And even now, he can still appeal it. They can still appeal it, and he gets to stay in office while it's being appealed.
Now, what's going on with mayors these days, man?
Yeah, no
Well,
kidding.
It's politicians in general. Like, even
Right.
our premier and, just our premier.
Now, what I'm
and-
wondering
and
is,
our
did
prime.
he step down because of something we have yet to find out about?
Dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
McGinty? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's
Maybe.
there's more to it all the time.
See, now, James, you're from Toronto, right? So I know this is big news for Rob Ford there, right?
Yeah, Toronto, they're so polarized. You'll run into people that are Ford supporters, and you look at them, you go, I can't believe you're a Ford supporter. And then you kind of run into people that are like, oh, that Rob Ford is such an ass. And then you're like, really?
Yeah.
I would think you would support him. So it's all over the board. And I think they even said that he won the vote by 95,000 votes or something like that. So it wasn't like a close margin. Like when he won 2 years ago, I mean, people wanted him.
But you think back, you say 2 years ago, you look back, and how many times has he been in the media negatively?
Yep.
In the past 2 years, remember didn't he give the finger to some lady in a van?
Okay,
He
he's
did
crass.
that.
He's
Yeah.
crass. He gave
Yeah,
the finger
yeah.
to somebody, drove through the streetcar stop sign thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Against bike lanes.
He was
Yeah.
reading while he was driving on
Reading
the
while he-
QEW, I
yeah.
believe. Yeah.
doing 80 or something.
Jeez.
Made that public announcement about the whole weight loss thing, and then was
And then
spotted
he-
going into Burger King or whatever.
And he
like-
actually
Yeah.
sprained his foot
Oh.
stepping off a scale.
Yeah.
And then he quit.
yeah.
He sprained his foot stepping off of a scale.
Yeah.
But he made such a big deal to the media that he was going to lose all this weight, and
He brought it on himself.
yeah, he did, and it didn't last long at all.
And all that aside, I mean, sure, you can kind of poke fun. It's kind of, like the Mayor Quimby you were saying, Jimmy. You
Yeah,
know, but
poke
I mean,
Quimby.
ultimately, if he's doing a good job, that's great. And this conflict of interest
Yeah.
thing, it sounds like he's just being a bully,
I just can't really take him very seriously. Just when you look at him, he's got like this giant suit on. His tie's always loose. It looks like he's got that.
He's
you
doing
know,
it for the
cheap
kids, man. He's
buzz
doing
cut.
it for the kids.
I realize he loves the kids. He loves the football, but
Man, he's like Chris Farley.
before
Yeah.
we move ahead, I just want to go back to the Fontana thing. A lot of my friends are journalists, okay? And I came into work the other day, and they said, Ryan, you need to take a look at this. It was a video professionally made from Fontana's son's wedding back in 2005. And it was one of those ones where, they come in and they document the entire day, and they put, nice music underneath, and they show the entire wedding, the wedding reception. This thing looked like it was like a millionaire's wedding.
And
Like
then
this-
at the end, it said special thanks to the city of London.
yeah, no kidding. Thank you for your
taxpayers of
tax
London.
dollars. Yes.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. It's like, oh, there's where our money went to. But he is the people's mayor. A lot of people do like Fontana,
Yeah.
but
Is that kind of like Rob Ford, though? Would he be the
Maybe.
people's mayor,
maybe.
No, I couldn't see him being. He's like the people's. Like with Fontana, it's more like, people don't really. He doesn't upset the apple cart as much. People
No.
are fine with him. It wasn't until all this that everybody was kind of like, okay, he's all right. It wasn't until all this came out where it's like, charged with fraud under 5,000, breach of trust by a public official, and uttering forged documents is what he's charged with.
Wow.
So it wasn't until then that like all this stuff started to boil. And there's more to it that they just can't pin on him.
That's
but it
the
wasn't.
thing, right?
Yeah,
Is this the start?
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't until this bubbled up that people started kind of like, hey, what's going on? This guy's kind of shady. But with Ford, it's been since like day, like
Mhm.
as soon as he took office, he broke every promise that he made. Almost, it seemed, It
Yeah.
was like, hey, you're in, great. F you guys, I'm
I'm going to
doing it
get
my
some
way."
Burger King.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was
and run over,
KFC, actually.
Yeah,
And double whopper.
yeah, evict some homeless people from under the bridge, and while I'm at it, I'm going to piss on everybody. Let's do it. Can I get the crew there to film everything?
I had a couple of interactions with Joe Fo, and one of the things that I respected about him was a friend of mine, Ian Gifford, had put together a campaign to try to lure CBC's Q with Jean Gomeshi
Yep.
here to London. And those of you that maybe had seen some of the campaign that had happened as a result of that, I mean, it was pretty impressive, and they managed to get Joe Fo on board, and he came down. He actually wore a Q shirt while they were in chambers, and he was really succinctly involved in trying to get Q to come to London, and as a result of that, lo and behold, Jean Gomeshi shows up here and does a show, which incidentally they had Joe Fo on as the guest, and it's unfortunate to see. I've had a couple interactions with him myself, and always found him very personable. And one of the things I liked is when he was talking to you, he always stopped and looked at you and actually listened. Where sometimes people
But
get
is
distracted.
he just a trained politician? I mean,
Well, I mean, that's just it, right? It's hard to know
yeah.
what the agenda is. But, at the same time, I guess you got to take what you see at face value until otherwise, charges come out in the
And that's
in
the
the
thing. Like,
public.
is he not like whatever innocent until proven guilty? You kind of, I don't know. They seem like serious allegations, but
Yeah.
Well,
and stuff that they don't just they just don't all of a sudden like throw these up and just say that's that. We're done. Like, especially
we can talk about other mayor scandals. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, we can go for days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things like when the RCMP gets involved and they press charges, they've done their due diligence. They've uncovered, like, they've got their proof. They're not just going to go out, because it's a bigger issue for when the RCMP gets involved. If they drop the ball and it's like they have nothing to back it up, like all hell breaks loose.
So City Council voted
Yep.
to have him, a motion to have him removed from power, which is a token motion because it's not actually something that their physical body has the capability of doing,
Mhm.
but more symbolically than anything that, obviously his constituents, they want him out,
Yep.
so, but he refuses to relinquish any command at this point. And, I guess the adage is, innocent until proven guilty. So I guess we wait and see.
Yep.
But, it kind of a commentary on modern day politics. It's just everything seems to be going to hell. So I don't know. It's a tough time for Ontarians. There's no question,
Yep.
let alone London.
Gotta say, politics usually bore the crap out of me, but lately
Yeah.
it's been so exciting with Ford and Fontana.
if I get a
Yeah.
YouTube clip
Oh,
of
man.
Rob Ford falling or throwing, in line, so like I gotta watch it.
Yeah,
I'm-
exactly. I saw the one where he's at the football game and he
football
turns
game.
around to make the pass, do the little button hook, and falls on his ass.
You know what's awesome with that clip though is that his brother's kind of in the background and he's laughing at him. So it's kind of like a brotherly thing because it's kind of
Yeah.
like friendly.
So I read a little article today suggesting that if and when he's removed, well, we know it's just a matter of time, but he did suggest he was going to appeal it, but
He
that
did.
his brother may take up his spot. Right?
Dougie will step in.
Yeah. Does he not look like Chris Farley though? I mean,
He totally looks like Chris Farley.
like I'm waiting for him to do cartwheels and fall and crush a table and
Yeah.
Fat
You know.
guy in a little coat.
Yeah. Oh, that would be sweet if you did that.
wouldn't it though? All right, so we're gonna get to some more music. I'm gonna tee up a track here from. Hold on a second. I gotta go into my deep file, find out where it is. All right, this is a band called Searching for Satellites. Recently had an EP dropped, is now available on iTunes, and this is one of their singles, which I think is pretty hot. This is Never Enders by Searching for Satellites on the London Indie Underground.
We will be the ones to make you believe that what we're doing you think you're a dream? You are obsolete. Yeah, you don't mean nothing. We never wanted to. Always searching for tiny spaces to leave alone beside the pole. It's such a process. You don't do this with all your heart. We really never ending. We are forever. We are the never ending. We won't be stopped.
Searching for satellites with never enders here on the London Indie Underground. My name is Jimmy James. We're broadcasting you live from the Vault Recording Studio, Adelaide and Princess, joined today by Gary Begner,
We make
James
sandwiches.
Leacock,
We
rather,
make songwriters money.
and Mr. Ryan Valderon from 103 Fresh FM.
We play the people who make music.
Right. So actually, that to steer the conversation your way. So how long have you been at Fresh FM now?
Actually, I started at Fresh FM in August of this year, so I've only been there a few months. But I actually worked for Bob FM
Okay.
here in London a few years back. Went to Brockville, Ontario, to do radio work there. I was a music director, afternoon drive announcer there. Kind of moved down the 401, spread my wings, got some life experience. Now I'm back in London. It's nice to see all these familiar faces, but it's
One thing I've noticed about you, Ryan, is you're very active on social media, particularly on Instagram.
I love that app, man. I love it.
So
Love it.
much so that I had actually recognized your girlfriend one
I heard
morning
about this.
when I happened to be out at a local establishment, which your girlfriend works at,
Yep.
and she was seating us. And I'm like, wait a second, I recognize that face. And I finally took me a minute to put it together. So I called out and I said, hey, Megan. But she didn't hear me the first time, so she kind of walked away. And so I waited and waited for her to come by, and I wanted to introduce myself. And I thought for a second, man, I might seem like a bit of a creep, right? Because
Especially with the mustache.
exactly,
Yeah,
that's
totally.
exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yep.
That's true. So I thought to myself, well, should I say something or not? So anyway, she came by, and I'm like, hey, Megan, I know you. I know you from somewhere. And boom, she sits down right beside me, and she's
Yeah,
not
that's
shy
right.
at all.
Nope.
And we got into this conversation. It was great, and she was lovely and a very nice girl.
Yeah, she's great. Great. I met her in Brockville actually when I
Yeah.
moved down there, so brought her back. And yeah, it's funny. You said that you recognized her from Instagram.
Right.
Man, we both love that app. Filtering crappy photos, right? I don't know. It's a lot of fun, but it's amazing what social media can do, right?
Right.
You're making connections. Like I have some connections, some very important connections within, the radio industry over social media. I've never, in fact, met that person in real life, but that goes to show the power of the medium and how you can build relationships by not even meeting people these days. It's a little bit crazy. And Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you see pictures of people in your community, and then you spot them up close in person. You're like, I know that person.
Right.
And it's pretty powerful. It really is.
They take great thumbnails,
Yeah, they
but
do.
if you blow them
Yeah.
up, they look kind of blotched out. And the whole reason I say that is
Yeah, yeah.
because we have a trained photographer sitting to your right,
Yeah, he's right there.
who is very critical of the old Instagram. But
Yeah. At least save a copy of the photo before you filter the crap out of it, right?
That's true.
So
That's
you have
true.
it further down the road.
That's true. But it is great for capturing those moments, and
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool that I recognized her through your social media. So you're the swing announcer right now. So when can our listeners tune in and hear your voice?
I'm on the air Thursday nights from 6 until midnight, Friday nights from 6 until midnight, and I also do the Saturday and Sunday afternoon show. So on Saturdays and Sundays, we do our top 30 countdown, which is the 30 best songs voted by the listeners. So people, they tweet us, they email us on what song they think should be number one. And I compile a countdown every week, and we run that on the weekends, sort of like like Ryan Seacrest, American Top 40 or whatever.
Okay.
Like that. So I do that every week, and that's my baby right now. So that's a lot of fun to do, and it's a lot of fun hearing from our demo on what songs they are very interested in. Right now, our number one song on the countdown is Maroon 5's "One More Night," which is actually was at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 for just weeks and weeks and weeks, and finally got knocked off by Rihanna's Diamonds. Okay, so it's a lot of fun because people get to have their say on what they think should be the number one song, and a lot of people in London very active on Twitter. I created a hashtag, you have your hashtag
Right.
here. I see it on the word LIUG.
That's right.
It's amazing what a hashtag can do because it can immediately direct that person to you. And it's been a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm on air 4 days a week, and Wednesdays I work in the music office, programming music.
So, if we're far left here at the London Indie Underground, kind of what you represent is far right as far as musical content goes. I mean, you mentioned about the top 40 and
Well,
you know,
yeah.
not necessarily something that I would listen to, but I can certainly respect like people like James. You happen to be a big fan.
I
of
was
Miley
I was
Cyrus.
one of the first people that liked Maroon 5.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, they used to be called Kara's Flowers.
Kara's Flowers, absolutely.
Kara's Flowers, yeah.
So, Ryan, from your perspective and where you're at, I can only assume then that there's not necessarily going to be a lot of opportunities for local bands to exploit a radio station like 103.1.
Yeah, like it all really depends on the format. Like as for like hot AC stations, they stick pretty close to the chart. And hot AC and AC stations don't really have features like, out of the box or like an indie show or something like that.
Right.
Do you guys sometimes pick up like indie tracks? Like I was recently at the SoCan Awards, and I don't really follow dance music or anything like that. And there's a lot of kind of up and coming Canadian artists. Like, do you guys play some of that, like, that Jordan stuff? And
Like sometimes what we'll do on our weekend countdowns is we'll take a song from a lesser known artist and we'll use it as our feature song.
Yeah.
And that way we'll get listeners to give us their feedback on the song and everything and how they like it. It may not be a song that we're going to add into rotation, immediately, but it's a song that puts it out there, lets the listener hear it, lets them think about it, and they can email us, let us know what they think. And, depending on how well it does with the listening audience, it could go into rotation. So, but as for like a rock format radio station, right? We were talking off air of, how some radio stations have, an indie show.
Right.
A lot of alternative rock stations do that, but you don't really see it in like a hot AC and an AC or, even like a CHR station. So one of those just moved into our city not too long ago. So
CHR like crossover.
yeah, CHR
Yeah.
kind of dancey rap pop.
Nickelback could be played on it.
Technically, yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
remixed with a dance
Yeah.
beat.
Exactly right. So, but yeah, that's artists and bands can always send in their music to the music director, the music assistants. We give feedback. We tell them what they can do to get their song better recognized from program directors, music directors. So it's
Is there an indie underground like a dance scene? Is there people that are making electronic music that's popular? Like, do you know what I mean? That might be played on something like Fresh or.
Yeah, it's a possibility. There hasn't been anything since I started at the radio station. Like, it's funny because we were talking about Maroon 5, Rihanna, like this type of music. You're starting to see the hot AC genre kind of change to indie rock. Like Gautier, Fun, that poppy,
Yeah.
like Tegan and Sarah are crossing over now.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff like that. So there's always possibility, but it might not hit right away, but it usually takes a little while longer. So.
It'd be interesting to get
Yeah.
somebody like that on your show if there's
Yeah.
anybody in the area
Yeah.
that's doing that type of stuff.
Well, like
You
the
know.
underground.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
pop dance music. I don't know, like in your
You know, it's
basement.
funny.
You
It's
know what I
funny.
mean? Everybody thinks about bands, right? Everyone's gonna get a band together and we're gonna be the next Nirvana. But I mean, is there somebody that's sitting in their basement that thinks they're gonna be Rihanna? I don't know.
There has to be.
There
Yeah,
has to be, right?
I can tell you there definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been approached by somebody looking
There you
to
go.
to record some music along that exact line.
Like
and
the
I
oonts.
It wasn't Rebecca Black, was it?
no, but I wasn't in a position, and I don't feel that I'm an authority on that type of music, and so I had to respectfully kind of decline and refer her to somebody else. But further, there's another. Okay, we are the London Indie Underground.
Mhm.
There is an Indie Underground in London too, which is run by Aaron McMillan, and I think he's affiliated with CHRW. And they have events here in town where they spin more of the alternative and dance and stuff. And I know
Yeah.
they certainly support indie rock and are trying to create awareness. But philosophically, what we're doing is a little bit different here. We're trying to give back to the community and support the independent musicians that are in this area. So I just want to make sure that there's a clear distinction between us. And to be perfectly frank with you, I won't debate in terms of who came first. And honestly, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Because there's a big pie, right? We can all have a slice of it. That said, we'll get to some more music. Sorry, did you
I said I like pie.
you like pie?
Yeah.
I love pie, man. What's your favorite kind of pie?
Life of Pi.
Pumpkin pie.
pumpkin. I agree.
I'm going with cherry.
Cream on there.
All right, so I'm going to spin a band. This is a band that sent us a track some time ago and won the FM 96 Norma Jean's Last Band Standing competition. This is a band called Lucky Louise with a song called Take It All here on the London Indie Underground.
Take it all, mama, I'll be getting on my way. Ain't nothing about you now that'll make me want to stay. Been too long just to lock up in the home. It's been a whole damn month and you ain't even changed your clothes. Try, don't you say I quit. It's been too long, now I'm done with it. Packing my things and I'm getting on my way. I can't be the only one to make a change, oh no. Take it home, me. Just let me be. I told you once before, don't be knocking around my door. Time and time I can't give no more. Take and you take, Lord, you never give. Tell you right now that ain't how I'm gonna live. You had a heart and always made us down. Never ever ever did I think you grow cold. Tell you one more time that I'm packing up my things. See what a life without you might bring. Oh yeah. Take it home, take it home, oh yeah. Just let me be.
Hey, this is Scott.
Hey, it's Ajay.
It's Good Child.
Hey, what's up? This is Dick from Two Crown King, and you're listening to London Indie Underground.
Son of a gun, I'm another one who's gonna get slapped. Now I gotta go, better get my neck snapped.
Wanna get up, but the kid gets down.
Boom, the
bomb blows, debris brings a cloud to earth. The sounds that burst aloud and hurt. The crowd disperses, leaving just the ground and dirt and still the.
Wanna get up, but the kid gets down.
And now I'm alone, I know it's only a matter of time. Quick, I gotta run, I'm in and out of my mind. I needed an enemy, give me an enemy is fine.
Wanna get up, but the kid gets down.
An enemy lies, my enemy finds me come alone. Too tired to fight back, too deep to run alone. Too deep, I should've known, too late now. Because the kid wanna get it, but the kid gets down.
Oh no, here we go. Slow motion, so automatic.
Automatic.
Oh no, here we go. Slow motion, so automatic. Yeah,
She's so automatic.
seriously, serious. You wanna play it out like there's no guff? Okay, enough's enough. You know I got a lot on the go, and times are tough. I'm on the cloud, reached about ready to rock, and then you start running your mouth and running amok, and now I'm standing here stranded stuck.
I said the kid wanna get it, but the kid gets fucked.
Quick, run, the fun just finished. I can smell trouble and I don't wanna be in it. I'ma go get my coat, I'll be back in a minute.
And you can keep running your mouth and running amok.
No more white knuckle breakneck speed, no more hip it turns. I've learned to buckle my seat. It's your turn to stay up late, wait out in the cold.
I know where you've been,
And I know what you're told. Oh no, here we go. Slow mo, she's so automatic.
oh no, she's so automatic that I hope this don't end up tragic.
Roll on, roll we go. Low pro tiptoe through the traffic.
Low pro tiptoe through the traffic, cause oh no, she's so automatic.
High def, blow by blow. Ringside HBO, fantastic.
Ringside HBO, fantastic. Oh no, she's so automatic.
Oh no, here we go. Slow mo, she's so automatic. Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, there she goes again. Get back, son of a gun. I'm another one who's gonna get slapped. Now I gotta go, gotta get my neck snapped.
Kids wanna get up, but the kid gets down.
Boom, the bomb blows, debris brings a cloud to earth. The sounds that burst aloud and hurt. The crowd disperses, leaving just the ground and dirt and still the.
Kids wanna get up, but the kid gets down.
And now I'm alone, I know it's only a matter of time. Quick, I gotta run, I'm in and out of my mind. I needed an enemy, give me an enemy is fine.
Wanna get up, but the kid gets down.
An enemy lines, my enemy finds me come alone. Too tired to fight back, too deep to run alone. Too deep, I should've known, too late now. Because the kid wanna get it, but the kid gets down.
Oh no, here we go. Slow mo, she's so automatic.
Oh no, she's so automatic that I hope this don't end up tragic.
Roll on, roll we go.
Low pro tiptoe through the traffic. Low pro tiptoe through the traffic. Cause oh no, she's so automatic.
High def, blow by blow. Ringside HBO, fantastic.
Ringside HBO, fantastic. Oh no, she's so automatic.
Oh no, here we go. Slow mo, she's so automatic. Yeah,
She's so automatic.
oh no.
Automatic. She's so automatic.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Two Crown King with Automatic here on the London Indie Underground. Just before that, Lucky Louise. Great track. Got a couple of tweets here and messages about that one, and people seem to be digging it, so we'll keep spinning it for you. So I just want to do a bit of a retraction here because I know our friend Jeff Shaughnessy is listening. So it was City Committee that voted to have Joe Foe removed from power.
Yep.
Although it was, I think I was correct when I said it was a kind of a token
Yeah.
vote and doesn't actually hold any merit. But at the same time, it's definitely symbolic of the fact that there's some people out there that are just not feeling his vibe.
Yeah.
So that said, I know we're trying to steer the conversation away from politics because believe me, we can go all night. But I want to kind of turn it over to you, James, and have a bit of discussion. First off, I met you. This is going back to 1997 or 8.
We were in the presence of what's his face, drummer dude.
Drummer.
I think
dude.
that's the first time I met you.
Drummer dude.
The dude from the TV show. It was in a competition. Isn't that the first time I met you, Fonix?
Oh, right. So
Who
we
was the
played
drummer guy? The
Max Weinberg.
Max Weinberg.
Max
exactly.
Weinberg. Okay, so
Was that the first time?
That was the first
Yeah.
time. So back in, I think that was 1997. So my band that I played in at the time, which was called Fonix,
With an X.
we had won a regional Battle of the Bands, which is located at the Nipissing University in North Bay. And we, as a result of that, we went on to compete in an all-Ontario Battle of the Bands, which, if I'm not mistaken, was for a COCA membership,
Yep.
Canadian Organization of Campus Activities. And we played against Zuul's Evil Disco. Now, what was funny is when I had met you, I didn't know you, but you knew of me. Because
I was stalking you because I had the Fonix CD, and I was like, I got to meet this guy.
No, you didn't have the Fonix
I
CD.
didn't?
No,
How did I know about you then?
you had Booty, which I had recorded
Strange
with
Bargain.
the Bargain Boys.
Yeah,
Before we
right.
were Strange Bargain, Matt and Ben Wilson, we played in a band from North Bay called Booty, and I recorded in my basement on my 8-track, reel to reel.
Did I have a cassette of that?
You had a cassette of that.
I totally had a
And
cassette.
so when the boys came down, and that's what they had, and that's what they played you. So when I met you, you're like, wait a second, you're,
On the
you're
dance
Jimmy,
floor.
You're Jimmy the drummer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so at that point, we swapped CDs.
And then I started stalking you because that Fonix disc, I'm telling you, an hour of years.
Right.
Yeah. It's I not being a kiss ass, I listen to that all the time. Just like Headstrong, Salads, Fonix.
Oh, man,
it's
that's awesome.
good. It's good indie music.
Oh, man, I still listen to Zuul's Evil Disco to this day, so...
Fun
As
times.
early as last week, as a matter of fact. So I remember watching you guys play, and we went up and we did our thing, and I thought we played entirely too quickly, because they have on stage, if you remember, there was a light that would let you know when you had 5 minutes left.
And you
of
had
your
Max
set.
Weinberg watching you, so
Yeah,
that's
and Max Weinberg
yeah.
from Conan O'Brien is watching us play, which is pretty intimidating. And I remember we played our songs entirely too fast. We had enough time for another song. We had already played 3. So we ended up exiting the stage, and our set was pretty good. And then I remember watching you guys play and going, holy shit, man, there's no way that we can compete with that, because you guys had like girls on roller skates and some half-naked dude pounding on pans and pots and
Puppet show.
It was nuts.
It was dumb, yeah.
So some people might remember Zuul's Evil Disco from back in the day. You guys had a great friendship with the Salads, which was
Yep.
when I moved here, that was, for me, that was the scene. You know what I mean? Zuul's Evil Disco and the Salads. And I mean, there was a couple other bands that were in the mix at that point, but you guys were really the big fish, if you will.
It was fun. It was really fun.
And, we had Dan Broadbeck last week rather, here, and we were talking about the stories of back in the day when you guys had recorded. So when did Zuul's get their start? Describe to me the birth of Zuul's Evil Disco.
The birth of Zuul's, Dre Nerona, co-founder with me, would probably have maybe a different take on it, but it was kind of when we first met each other, we knew we had to start a band, and it was kind of the conversation went like this. We were in I don't know, like a Delaware Hall at Western, and in some sort of space or something like that, and there was a Metallica song playing, and I see this dude, and he's got this long hair, and he looks kind of cool. And he gives me like the nod, like, the nod, the hey, yo. And I said, give him the nod back.
Yeah.
And he goes, you like Metallica? And I said, yeah, man. He goes, me too. And seriously, that's when our friendship started. And I realized he played in a band, and, his band was back at home. I played in a band. My band was back at home, and we were like, okay, we got to make a band. And there was a battle of the bands at CHRW, the radio station at Western. And we had 4 days. We put together some songs on a cassette. And, and then that's how Zuul started.
That first time that I saw you play was pretty, it was insane. But I think for me, probably the best show was I Call the Office, and seeing, some rather lewd props that maybe I shouldn't get into some of the specifics of what you guys had on stage. But a coordinated effort with horns and harmonies and percussion and everything, and it was like a spectacle, man. It wasn't just a band, it was like a circus.
We wanted it to be that, we wanted to kind of poke fun at like glam, like we all listened to kind of like cheese metal and stuff, and we were into funk music, and we just had to make it a good time, because that was the thing. It's like you were saying earlier about Dan Broadbeck saying, like, if you're going to be a musician, you be good.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're going to be a band, musicianship is part of it. But if people are going to pay $5 or $6 or $2 or, free, give them a show. You know what I mean? No one wants to see 3 people staring at their shoes. Because if you're doing that, your songs better be damn good.
It's true.
So that was our thing.
Well, I think for the indie spotlight today, we should do a double shot here of some Zuul's Evil Disco.
Don't double shot us.
Oh,
no.
we have to, man. And
The band might get back together. You better be careful.
please, that'd be awesome. And I know, obviously, there were some members that came in and out of the group, and one of them was our good friend Eric Soini, and the other one also our good friend Jeff Shaughnessy.
Yeah, Ajay.
And Ajay, yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, we're all connected. Yeah.
Who plays the Two Crown Kings. So, it's great to see that, these group of musicians that had kind of moved in different directions, but, really kind of all tie back to their roots to, to this project here. So the only one that I have on my computer is Homemade Prozac. So
Awesome.
if there was a song that you wanted to pick off of here, what would it be?
Straight Up Waxin'.
Straight Up Waxin'?
Yep.
All right. Let me see if I can find it. What track number is it?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Sugar Hill.
7.
Sugar Child. Oh, wait a second. Slap Me Some Skin.
Pick one. They're.
I don't think I
like
have
the
Straight Up Wax in here. Why don't I?
No.
I must have missed it.
That's
when I
okay.
loaded
Pick
it in.
your favorite one.
This is tough, man.
Chico Smoothie.
Chico Smoothie?
Do Chico. Chico's fun.
We can do Chico Smoothie.
Okay.
All right. Well, I hope our listeners enjoy this as much as I do. It's a bit of a throwback here, and not necessarily current indie, but definitely has some ties, long ties to the London market. And when we come back after this song, James will talk a little bit about what you're currently doing.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to some of the insights that you can provide to to some of our listeners. So not to put you on the spot or anything, but this is Zuul's Evil Disco with Chico Smoothie on the London Indie Underground.
Slimy, shifty, selfish. Chico thinks he is the man. Funky, fatty, fruity, freakish. Chico take his best friend's gram instead of a cheating hand.
He's kinda like a man trying hard to make him think he's fly. He's got that super slippery glow in his greedy eye. He's the man with the plan, comb in his hand, cold looking for the honey dinner. No. Oh, goddamn, he's a perpetrator, he's a charm.
Wanky, whiny, wormy, wimpish. Chico thinks he is the man.
He represents a watered down home, drastic, sarcastic, a run around phony, plastic, and spastic. Matted by happening like Shaq or Travolta. The boy's whacked out, he's a weasel like I told ya. Oh, goddamn, he's a perpetrator, he's a charm.
There's a man called Chico Smoothie, tries so hard to score. Chico Smoothie, not so groovy, thinks he's so hardcore. There's a man walking down the street called Chico Smoothie, tries so hard to score. Chico Smoothie really got a beat that's not so groovy, thinks he's so hardcore. He ain't smooth no more. A bossy, a baldy, bitch and brutish. Chico thinks he is the man. Crabby, cranky, crusty, creepish. Chico take his best friend's gram, still of his loving land.
He's kinda like a man trying hard to make him think he's fly. He's got that super slippery glow in his greedy eye. He's the man with the plan, comb in his hand, cold looking for the honey dinner. No, Sam. Oh, goddamn, he's a perpetrator, he's a charm.
There's a man called Chico Smoothie, tries so hard to score. Chico Smoothie, not so groovy, thinks he's so hardcore. There's a man walking down the street called Chico Smoothie, tries so hard to score. Chico Smoothie really got a beat that's not so groovy, thinks he's so hardcore. He ain't smooth no
try so hard to score. Chico smooth with a got a beat that's not so groovy. Thinks he's so hardcore. He ain't smooth no
Chico's Smoothie, Zuul's Evil Disco, here in the London Indie Underground. Bit of a throwback track.
It's fun. It's fun listening to it.
So, James, tell us a little bit. Let's get into kind of your story here. So, you work for SOCAN.
Yep.
So, some of our listeners may not know what SOCAN is.
Absolutely.
So, if you could,
I'll give
tee
you
it
the
up for
kind
me, would ya?
of. I'll give you the corporate Coles Notesy kind of thing. So, SOCAN, the Society of Composers, Authors, Music Publishers of Canada. The way I always used to explain it was, you know, when you hear a song that plays on the radio and someone gets paid for it, like a royalty, that's SOCAN. Specifically, radio play, TV play, music in an elevator, music on a plane, music on a train, wherever, music outside of your house, it's SOCAN. And the great thing about what it is that we do is we represent creators of music and publishers. You know, it's not necessarily the musician; it's the writer. So it's fun working for them. It's pretty rewarding.
how long you been with SOCAN now?
Oh, geez, I got hired in 2001. Yeah, it's been a while, 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was that long.
neither did I.
Man, this past 10 years has just gone by like that.
Yeah. What's another 10 years?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I know your job has changed a little bit from when you initially started, right?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be the guy that, you know, I mentioned planes, trains, automobiles, you know, all that stuff. So I'd go out to the various businesses that are using music and say, hey, did you know that, you know, you need a SOCAN license? And they'd go, what's SOCAN? And then I would give them the blurb that I just told. And, you know, if the day was good, they would pay a licensing fee, and that money would go back to SOCAN and get distributed out later. If it didn't go so good, then, you know, I did a bit more talking. And I did that for 7 years, and then decided to move into the office. Started working down in the Toronto office, and today I'm actually managing the concert department, and it's fun.
So, okay, so can you kind of elaborate in terms of what your function
What does that
is?
mean?
Yeah.
Well, so we have obviously different areas of licensing, like, you know, radio for, you know, Ryan would be familiar with that, television stations and whatnot. And the part that I'm in charge of is concert performances. So anytime a performance happens, you know, a promoter does a big concert at the ACC, if you go to the fall fair and they have the big stage set up and there's a concert performance, all those performances actually go through my office. We do the licensing side of it, which means that, you know, we collect the licensing fees from the promoters and the venues, and we also do the distribution side of it. So, you know, if Surrounded by Water plays like the London Fair or whatever, and you guys do a set, you send that information to my department. I kind of take the money from one end, look at your set list, and I give you a royalty check. So it's kind of it's a unique part of SOCAN that does both sides of the business.
Okay, that's an interesting point, and it was actually something that was brought up by Joel Crass, who obviously you know very well.
Headstrong.
Yeah, and Joel is a big proponent of SOCAN, and further urging independent musicians to take advantage of the the services that are available through SOCAN to reimburse them for their live performances, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of stuff that SOCAN offers. It's not really a union or anything like that. I mean, the laws exist, the copyright laws exist here in Canada, so it's always good to take advantage of what's there. You register your songs, you become a member of SOCAN. It doesn't really cost you anything if you do it online, And then once your music gets used, if it gets played on Fresh FM or CHRW, or, you play a festival, a fair, a club, you know what? SOCAN's out there ensuring that, we're collecting, a few dollars for you.
That's great. The one question that I had pertaining to that, though, is, and forgive me if I'm incorrect, but I was under the impression that there had to be a minimum cover charge amount.
Absolutely, yeah. There's like little, nuances here and there on how, like if we're talking about like the indie crowd and the indie bands that are out, writing music and performing in clubs. There's a few little nuances on how you can get a performance royalty, and if you're playing in a club, for example, you have to have a $6 cover charge. And once you have that $6 cover charge, you send in, poster, whatever you want. You put your set list on there. If there's a couple bands that played with you, make sure you include them on the information you send us. And then we set up a royalty for you.
Let's kind of be honest with about this for a second here. So, I see a lot of shows that are under $6.
Oh, there's tons.
Now I don't necessarily know that that's tied specifically to, circumvent this.
Right.
But having said that, how many applicants do you actually get from bands, or applications rather, from bands looking for reimbursement for a show that's over $6? Is there a lot?
There's a
don't
lot.
even know.
Because I'm in charge of the department now, which is great. I mean, I get to see kind of the numbers come in and out because, up until last year, I really had no idea how much came in. I worked in a different part of licensing. But we usually get about 12 to 1,400 online submissions. And that's just online, and then about 1,100 to 1,200 paper submissions, because there's two ways you can notify us of performances.
Okay,
so I mean, there's a lot that we do get.
So people are taking advantage.
Yeah,
of this.
and it's increasing too, especially our online stuff. People are, like you're talking about, social media and stuff like that. People are savvy online. They're connecting through the app or on the website, and they're submitting stuff. And that's kind of the rule that our membership department kind of suggests to, bands that are performing. If you're doing your club shows and they're, $6 and above, or you get on a bill with another band that, it's a $6 cover or whatever, send it in. Send everything in. You play the fall fair, send it in.
Okay, now my next question kind of piggybacks on this. So ultimately, is it the club that's responsible to remit this payment, or is it sent out directly from SOCAN? Like, how does it work?
It kind of comes from two different ends, right? So you have the licensing end, and this is kind of the music user end. So if you have, Club ABC downtown in London, if they're having live music, they're supposed to have a license in place, and the license covers them. The legalese around it is any or all copyright music. So, let's say you went in with your band, but none of your music was registered, but, you did a Neil Young cover or something like that. They have that license there just in case.
Okay.
Right? And what that license does allow for the bands themselves is that when they do have a show, and I mean, a lot of the club shows are, $5 or $6 anyways. That's kind of the norm. 10 years ago with Zuul's, it wasn't really the norm. I mean, if you were charging, $5 at the door, you better have a lot of people coming, because the owner might be mad because no one shows. But nowadays, the $6 and above is kind of normal. And when that cover charge is in place and you send in your set list and your proof or your poster or whatever, then we kind of match the two. And it doesn't really matter what Club ABC pays us. And this is what I was talking about earlier off air, is that our minimum distribution that we do, and that this for any distribution, is $75 for the show. So, let's say you're the sole act and you play for a couple hours, or you play 3 sets or whatever. And that $75 is distributed over all the songwriters. For Zuul's, SOCAN was kind of a mixed bag. I mean, we had 10 songwriters. You're splitting $75 across 10 people.
Right.
Everybody walks out with $7.50, and it shows up on your T4.
Yeah.
But it's important to get into the habit, because I think nowadays in the environment that we're in, you got music downloads. A lot of people are giving their music away for free. That live show is important because you can make your cover at the door. You're selling your merch.
Right.
That's the way that bands are making money today. They're not really making money selling the CDs. So adding SOCAN as a level of compensation, even though it might not seem like a lot of money. If you're playing 100 shows, and you don't send in anything, you're potentially leaving, what is it, $7,500 on the table, over all those shows. So it adds up quick.
Now, so a band, hypothetically, we play at ABC Club downtown.
Yeah.
And we send in our set list, whether electronically or otherwise.
Yeah, my buddy Bruce gets it.
Okay.
Shout out to Bruce Landon.
So we send it to Brucey, which is funny because I got a Bruce Campbell soundboard up here, so we'll play with that a bit.
Yeah.
So we send it to Bruce, and he... now, is the club alerted that the band has made a claim
It's a good question.
against?
Like I said, we get thousands of these in every month. We don't notify the club.
Okay.
And once again, thinking about what I used to do at SOCAN, kind of the door knocking at all the venues and the cafes or whatever, we know all the clubs. All the clubs know us. We have a solid relationship with a lot of them.
Okay.
So if they've been around for a while, chances are, they have their SOCAN in place. We used to put stickers on the door, and then people got mad and they didn't want stickers on their establishment, but that's an old SOCAN story. But anyhow, yeah, so most of the clubs are on board. They have a good relationship, and I always encourage the bands when they're playing just to have even the SOCAN conversation, So if Club ABC has a license in place, thank them. Say, hey, you know what, man? I know, my cover's only $5, but it's cool that you kind of, support what we do. And next Friday, let's make the cover $6. And don't get mad at us if only 10 people show up.
Right. Okay, so that's club shows.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of, let's say you play at, Ribfest or something like that.
Yeah.
So how does that work differently from a club show in terms of the application?
Whoever's putting on the festival, if they're having music in place, and for the most part, like the clubs and the venues or whatever, we have a really good relationship with the festivals that happen year in, year out. So if you're doing a performance, absolutely, submit your stuff. We generally know about it, unless it's kind of the inaugural year for a festival and
Right.
maybe we didn't know about it. But yeah, no, we got our stuff covered.
Okay, that's some great feedback. The
Yeah.
reason I asked that question is and I'm sure you can appreciate that perhaps a band may be concerned that they've submitted this application and
Yeah, like, I'm going to get ratted out or something.
right. Well, the
yeah.
bar might take
Yeah.
exception, and who knows? And I mean, I would want to believe that promoters are above board, but you never know what the circumstances may be, and maybe bands would be timid to.
And you know what? And this is the thing. Like, I'm going to be really candid here. You know what?
Okay.
If you play Club ABC and you've submitted 10 set lists to us, and we haven't paid you, and you call us up and say, "Hey, I didn't get paid for those 10 shows," we will kind of go, "Well, our Privacy Act says that we can't really tell you whether Club ABC, has a license in place, but we didn't pay you for those 10 shows." You know what I mean? So it's kind of
Right.
like the obvious thing,
So-
right? It's like,
Is payment contingent on Club ABC having a license?
currently payment is contingent on Club ABC having a license.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't that be great if that changed at some point?
I suppose it would.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
And what would the average? I mean, I don't even know, but if I owned Club ABC and I had
Yeah.
to pay a licensing fee to SOCAN, what
And,
would it?
and you know what, Jamie, that's a good question. And all this is, it's public knowledge. I mean, the Copyright Board of Canada kind of
Right.
legislates criteria and all that legalese stuff. They pay 3% of what they pay the entertainment. So if they have a budget of like $10,000 a year, that they spend on entertainment, every Friday or whatever, the license fee is $300.
It's pretty insignificant.
It's
when you
3%.
consider-
Yeah, it's only 3%, and we reserve that. And the mentality behind it. And I mean, I know a lot of you indie guys out there. You know what? You guys are like, well, we're the performers and we're the songwriters. Which is great because you should get compensated to perform and you should get compensated for writing. It's kind of two different skills. I mean, everyone's been in a band like where you have the Billy Corgan guy who's like, I'm writing all the songs and you're getting nothing.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, you know what?
That's
I mean,
Gary.
if someone's doing all the work writing the songs, I mean, they're compensated a bit separately. But if you're like the Tragically Hip, you know what? It's four guys right? You know, they get paid, you know, they're big bucks when they play their festival show. And you know what? They get paid because they're songwriters as well.
Now, are podcasts?
Yeah.
What's the scoop with podcasts? Am I on
The soup,
hook
you
here?
know what? Once again, I'll use the word allegedly a few times. My buddy Mark Paquette, who's probably not listening, but he's one of the managers in the media department. He knows the ins and outs of it all. But my knowledge base right now tells me that for podcasts, they're really not covered under any licensing. Okay, but if you're on YouTube or what, you know, that type of stuff where it's I don't even know the right terminology. It's like social media, but it's like streaming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a user generated content,
Okay.
I think is the term that they use. You know what? There's going to be licensing in place for that. So if you're getting, you know, 10,000 views or whatever, you'll eventually get a royalty at one day, and it's not going to be a lot of money. There's no money. There's no money in YouTube. Just to be clear.
Well, depending, is it like the goat, the walk off the earth, Goche thing. That was pretty huge. Like from Google's like from YouTube standpoint, like they paid it, from what I understand, quite a bit.
Yes,
on
but
that.
they pay though.
They
based
pay
on
Goat
views.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
based on views. And I think you can Google it and find it out. But there was a study done that for every 100,000 views, it's like you get paid $7 or something.
Yeah.
It's not 7, just for
No, but
everybody
I think
listening.
it's
but
5 though.
it's
But I
There's
think
not-
I think it's every 100,000 views over 1 million or something to that effect.
Yeah, there's some sort of algorithm or whatever, but if you're thinking that you're going to get rich, you know, from having your video viewed 100,000 times, it's not going to happen. Go out, sell your merch, play your live shows, you know, convince Ryan to get you on the radio.
Yeah,
You know,
a start.
I heard Fresh is doing a metal show. Is that true?
I don't think so. Anything right now. Anyways.
The drive.
interesting.
Yeah,
the metal drive.
The metal drive. It's 3:30 a.m. to 3:45 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to get to another song here, but I think that's some great
Yeah,
information.
it's, you know what, Jim, it's a lot of paperwork, you know what, and like I said, if you continuously do it and send in your paperwork or whatever, it's gonna build up, and it's gonna, once again, it's gonna help kind of, you know, it's another revenue stream. You know, you're selling your merch, you're playing your live shows or whatever, just do your SoCan stuff.
And we've been talking about this week in and week out of using the resources that are available. So
Yeah,
we're
it's
gonna check
there,
out,
right?
We'll check out a track, and when we get back, I want to have a bit of a discussion on your opinion of whether you should be giving away your music or whether you should be charging for your music.
I'll
And
be
this-
frank on that one,
Okay,
but
well,
let's
hold
get to it.
until after the song. So, once again, this is Zuul's Evil Disco. This is Straight Up Waxin' on the London Indie Underground.
Woo!
When I'm straight up a waxing, know exactly what to do. I'm a real riding drink show when I'm waxing down on you. Don't get with a trouble switch, press you like I'm gonna flip my lid. I lose inhibition when those juices start to flow. I'm a low talking monkey, I'm good to go.
Running to the center of the sun, chased on the run, getting sucked to the high, the rise on, and rocking to the sound of a beat. My vision worries, it's a lot of fucking size. The rise gas and jump into the middle of none, searching for something, look around, look for something, find a vision that's bumping. Cause I'm straight up waxing.
When I'm flapjack a mackin', know exactly where it's at. I'm a mean Scrabble dabbler, notice mutant facts. Don't deal with a trouble switch, press it like I'm gonna flip my lid. My mind gets distracted when those bed sheets hit the floor. I'm a whole toady tickler, wobble with me more.
Running to the center of the sun, chased on the run, getting sucked to the high, the rise on, chased on the run, get inside the tunes are high, the ride so and rocking to the sound of a beat. My vision blurry sweet, it's a lot the focus fly. Your eyes gas and jumping to the middle of night, searching for something, look around, feel the sound, find a beat that's bumping. Cause I'm straight up waxing, riding to the center of the sun, chased on the run, get inside the tunes are high, the ride so and rocking to the sound of a beat. My vision blurry sweet, it's a lot the focus fly. Your eyes gas and jumping to the middle of night, searching for something, look around, feel the sound, find a beat that's bumping. Cause I'm straight up waxing.
What a feeling is taxing.
Zuul's Evil Disco. Woo. Straight up waxing. That was a great number.
I love that song.
Yeah, those songs really take me back. You know, there's not really much of a funk movement around these parts nowadays. I don't know if the funk has kind of died off, but you guys brought it for sure. So,
Which the interesting part about that is they met because they both like Metallica.
right.
And we
Like-
both equally do not like Metallica today. But that's we can have a whole Metallica episode.
I'm not a big fan of new Metallica.
Yeah, I'll go back.
Although Death Magnetic was refreshing, but yeah, just still not there,
I know.
in my opinion. And others may disagree. That's okay. But you know, Load and Reload, I think they're appropriately titled.
Well, the funny part, and this is just my own personal opinion, which blah 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 blah. When you basically, as a songwriter, and you grow and you grow and you grow or whatever, and you go down that path, and then you realize, fuck, you know, I shouldn't.
I
have
went
gone,
too far.
Yeah, I shouldn't have gone here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I want to go back to being heavy metal, or I want to go back to being hard again. You then just become a shell. Like you're not really into it anymore, because when you're writing all that early stuff when you're younger, you're pissed. You've got that
You're
fire.
hungry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've got that
yeah.
fire, and you're against everybody. And it doesn't matter what you do, even if you're doing funk or if you're doing whatever. You've got that fire, and you write hard, and that's it. But then when you become successful, and you're like, we want to get back to where we used to be. How did we do that? And that's where it screws up, because you're processing. You're trying to think it instead of just like, this riff's heavy, and the other guy's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
And especially when you got Lars in the band, I mean, he's just going to overthink everything, and he's going to get very annoying very quickly.
And say F crazy a lot, eh?
He used to be one of my favorite drummers. And I remember back in the day, he'd just rip. And
Yep.
now he can't even play a floor on the floor straight anymore. I don't know what it is, but maybe too many.
His
years of-
his comment in the Big Four, I don't know if anybody's seen the Big Four video,
No.
but we watched it before going out to Heavy TO a couple years ago, and I still had a small faith in Metallica, and after watching that and seeing a clip of Lars, they were in this practice area, and Kirk or James goes, "Oh, okay, let's do Blackened," because the cameras were there. They're gonna and Lars goes, "Oh, can we try something a bit easier?" And I thought, you know what, you're an idiot. Like, you can't like, people look up to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, people think Lars.
He
Like,
can't even do like like
Yeah.
the snare rolls. It just seems off. He's got this weird tick thing happening,
I
and
think
I
he
don't.
took it for granted.
I don't understand. Maybe too much alcohol. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I know Rick Rubin was working on their last album and managed to breathe a little bit of life into them, but still not where they were. And for me, and Justice for All, that will go down as the best Metallica album. Some people say Master Puppets, but for me, and Justice for All, no question. Blackened, one of my favorite songs.
At a
Black and
cassette.
White awesome.
Yeah.
I like Mass. I'm still a bit. You know what?
You're a Cliff Burton fan, though, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge
Oh.
Cliffy fan,
Yeah.
but it's strange. My favorite hockey player is a Cliff. Anyways, it's,
Cliff running.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's like I enjoyed Kill 'Em All, but at the same time, like, I'm old enough, Air Bunnies. I had the No Life to Leather demo that sounded like Motley Crue for Metallica, like where everything's really slow.
Yeah.
And then when Kill 'Em All came out, like, I was a punter, but when they came out, that blew the shit off the doors. And then for me, I still love Ride the Lightning. I love the aggression of Ride the Lightning.
Ride the Lightning's a real dirty record. It's good.
And the
yeah.
thought, and like the fact you can see that they're going from simplistic to getting into more with Call of Cthulhu and all that.
Almost progressive.
Yeah. And then Master Puppets comes out, and I'm floored by it. didn't really dig the production as much because I like that dirty guitar, that oversaturated sound a lot that he was getting. But then Injustice, I kind of went, yeah. I don't get me wrong. That album did a lot for like my band at the time because we got to meet them, and Newstead wore our T-shirt on stage in Toronto, and that really elevated our group just in the band I was in. But it's still
Amazing.
I was there to go see Master Puppets.
That's a great story.
It's a cool story.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've had a lot
Wow.
of fun in music. Like I've had some really cool things happen. So
Yeah.
But
Very
it's-
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's not often you get to have a beer with James Hetfield, right? And
Speaking
actually-
of
when
beer,
he was having beers.
yeah, and actually talk to him though, right? Like
Yeah.
because that was the thing. We won these tickets backstage. It was for my birthday, and our singer won these tickets and took me because it was my birthday, as I just said twice now. And we go back, and all the guys that are backstage, all the people that are backstage, are basically doing what you would expect, right?
Yeah.
Woo, fucking right on, woo, yeah. And we kind of went in with a different game plan. And we had shirts and cassettes, like demos, just to see if they'd listen to it. Because you never know. Like, Faith No More got hit because of the fact that they kind of tuned into it, like, and all that. So we thought, you never know what's going to happen. So we went there and we talked. And before we went in, we were trying to think of what's the best way to get somebody's attention. So I went into one of those dollar stores and bought the worst golf shirt I could find. And when we met them, all these guys were like, sign my jackets. And I was like, hey, could you guys sign my really shitty, cheesy golf shirt? and they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, my shitty golf shirt. Could you sign that? And he's like, did you just buy this? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, hella cool, man. And they signed, and then he's like, you want a beer? And I'm like, fuck, right on. So I end up, we have a beer, and we're just like, this is the coolest day ever.
That's a great story because, I'll tell you, there's been many times where I've talked to people that have met, their rock idols and were
Yeah.
really let down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens.
But for me, my experience has been great. Like everybody knows, well, not everybody, but many of you might know that apart from Led Zeppelin, my favorite band is Mastodon, without question.
Yep.
And I've had an opportunity to hang out with them a couple of times. And one time I was fortunate enough to have backstage passes for the Alice in Chains, Deftones,
Black
Mastodon
Diamond
show.
Sky.
Yeah, buddy. And I was with you.
Oh, yeah.
You were bleary that night. But, okay, so I'll tee up the story here. So we went with James, and directly across the street from James was your friend Trevor, and his brother is the drummer for Billy Talent, correct?
Yep. That's right.
So he comes over and says, yeah, we might be meeting with Ian DeSaw backstage at most of the amphitheaters where we were at. And so I'm sitting with James, and we catch Mastodon set, and we start watching the Deftones set, and then it's decided that we're going to try to get backstage, and we're going to try to go meet up with
The American Express Pavilion,
right.
I so remember, and we're like, where is it?
Okay, so was it your birthday?
I partied like it was my birthday.
Okay, it wasn't his birthday. I thought it was his birthday. Okay, so he was in a birthday state of mind, if you know what I mean. So we're trying to find this American Express Pavilion, and James is on his phone, and we're lost in a sea of people. We don't know where we're going, and of course I don't have any idea. I'm just following James. What I didn't realize is when we first showed up, Trevor passed me and Moss these two passes, these lanyards, which I didn't know what the significance of them was. We had tucked them away in our pocket, and so we're following James, and he's leading the charge here to try to get us backstage. And so all we're doing at this point is trying to find any American Express Pavilion sign that
A credit
can.
card in the sky,
Right.
like
A
whatever.
So
A
we're
blimp.
standing underneath some sign that's now is like by the booth, like the mix booth. And, and James is waving his arm frantically. We're over here. We're over here. Meanwhile, he's on the phone, right? And, of course, we're in the wrong place. So we keep walking, and eventually James is like, that's it. I'm going back to my seat. So I'm standing with Moss, and I'm like, dude, we got to find this place. We got to go there, right? So we pull out these passes, and then finally we stumble across this place. We see this huge lineup of people trying to get into what was the pavilion. So we walk up, and we flash our passes. Boom, they let us right in. And I feel really bad to this day because we start walking in, me and Moss, and then I see Darren Dumas and Chuck from the Salads, and they're standing right there, and they're like, Jimmy, what's up? And
You're like, see you later.
I'm like waving. I'm like, hey, guys. And I just keep walking because I see Bron Daler from Mastodon in my sights. So we go over, and we're hanging out with Bron, and then Eric ended up showing up, and you showed up.
I showed up too. I took a really bad BlackBerry photo, and I
Yeah.
called Braun something else, and I'm like, "Oh, you're a cool singer," and he's just looking at me like I'm an idiot.
But I got to hang out with them for a while, and I almost felt like we were kind of imposing on his time, and we kept saying to him, dude, like if you got to go like do some other stuff, do
He
whatever.
was super laid back.
Yeah, and he's like, no,
so laid
no.
back.
He's like, you guys are cool. Like, do you want to get some drinks? So we're drinking, and I had to drive, right? So I couldn't really drink, and I had a couple, and I'm like, oh God, who knows where this night could go. So anyway, we ended up leaving there, and then a couple of months later, Mastodon is playing in Toronto at the Cool House. So we go up, and I'm with Moss Beckman from Surrounded by Water, who plays in one of my bands. So we go up to their trailer, and we're waiting outside, and sure enough, Braun comes out, and I go up to him. I got a couple Surrounded by Water CDs in my hand because I want to give them to him. And, I go up, and I'm like, hey, dude, I don't know if you remember me, but, I hung out with you guys the last time you were here. He's like, yeah, the Molson Amphitheater, right? I remember you guys. And I'm like, no way.
Nice.
So that turned me into the ultimate fanboy. We hung out with them for a couple of minutes, but they were getting swarmed by people, and, we wanted to be respectful and not kind of hog their time. So we made our way out of there. But for me, that was a great moment because he's my drum idol. I mean, the guy's an absolute drum god.
They're amazing.
But the most humble person that you would meet, and like, you start telling him anything like, dude, you're such, you've been a big influence, and he's like, oh, you
See,
shucks.
that's a good thing. Like, you say it was the opposite and they were complete assholes. Like, do you think that would have changed your outlook on them, or do you think you still would have worshipped Mastodon?
You know what? I would still,
Yeah.
and what's funny, on the other end of the spectrum was the one guitar player, Billy, who was a bit, standoffish, I guess, because I walked over to him and I'm like, hey, dude, can I get a picture with you? And, he was kind of a bit brash. And it is what it is. I get it. Sometimes, people can be eccentric and I'm sure, being somebody with that much popularity, it's got to be a bit awkward at times when people are coming up to you and almost smothering,
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that guy.
But
at the same time,
prog rocky metal geeks, we tend to be like that sometimes.
right? I certainly am.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
It beats the hell out of the first time that I met Braun Daler, though. And this is a very quick and embarrassing story, and I might have told you this. So to this day, I wear a Mastodon belt buckle that I bought off of their website. And so we show up at the Opera House. This is the first time during the Crack the Sky tour, and so we go outside and we see the boys outside on the other side of the barricade by where their bus was, and we're chatting them up and yada yada yada. But Braun's not there. It's Billy and Troy. And so we go in and we're standing in the vestibule, and I turn around and Braun Daler walks in, and I'm like the hugest fanboy, and I'm like tapping Mars on the arm, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So I go up to him and he turns around and I'm like, dude, can I shake your hand? I don't even tell him what my name is, right? I'm just like awestruck. So I shake his hand, and so I lift up my shirt and I look down at my belt buckle, and I'm like, hey, will you sign my belt buckle? And he kind of looks at me like
my
awkwardly, like, I gotta go.
Can you take it off first?
And turns around, and I'm like, wait, Braun, no. I was so embarrassed. So I've told that story to a bunch of people, and now
he's
they're
probably telling that story too. Fans are like, what's the weirdest experience you ever had when a fan came up to you? This one guy asked me to
could very well be,
That
man.
wasn't true.
If that,
It's
ever
gonna
gets,
happen.
if that ever got published, though, he would have it on his Facebook page, like cut
Yeah.
and paste.
Oh,
for everybody.
in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was, how can you
And I'm
not?
sure, so the running joke has been with some of my friends that, sign my belt buckle. It was pretty embarrassing. But he didn't let me down. And I was very happy about that. So, Braun Daler, if you happen to be listening, which I'm sure you have nothing better to do on a Wednesday night from 7 to 9 to listen to the London Indie Underground podcast in London, Ontario, I love you, buddy. You're the man. All right, so let's kind of switch gears here for a minute before we get to some more music. I think we might run a little bit late, if that's okay with you guys, unless
I'm cool.
you have to skedaddle out of here. Just the depth of the conversation today is very good, and I kind of want to keep this thing rolling. Perhaps we should get to some music here quickly before we get into the next subject. You guys familiar with the Mercy Now? You know them?
Mercy Now. That's I got the record. I didn't give it back to Eric. Oh no, he's gonna be really mad.
You got the vinyl.
The vinyl. I was supposed to give it back. I don't think I did. It's really good.
It is really good.
Yeah. That's
All right.
your buddy.
My friend, my
Yeah.
good buddy.
The Fonix guy.
Yeah, Lee
Yeah.
Rogers,
Lee.
who actually plays drums for them. However, he is coming out with his own solo record produced by Ian Blurton that
nice.
just went off to mastering, and I have to say it is incredible, and I cannot wait to get my hands onto it. As a matter of fact, he asked me if I'd be willing to do a bit of a tour with him for support
Sweet.
on drums, and I have a lot on the go right now. Some of our listeners know that I recently joined another band, and playing into Tool tribute, and still doing my other band, Surrounded by Water, doing the London Indie Underground. I got a lot of stuff on the go, so it was hard for me to say, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. But that said, he's going to send us some stuff, and we're going to spin it for you because it's pretty impressive. It's like Paul McCartney when he was in Wings. Imagine that meets Queens of the Stone Age meets Captain Beefheart.
You don't even have to play it. I love it already.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
That's
It's
awesome.
amazing. So, but this is his other band that he's in called The Mercy Now. They're based out of Toronto, but their London connection is me, and we're hoping to get them here because they're fantastic. So this is The Mercy Now with From the Heart on the London Indie Underground.
She kept me stepping. She told me about the end of time to get to ever heaven. She told me about the only time somebody gon' die tonight. Somebody got to face tonight. Well, I tell you about my devil. She ain't got no control. She said it's from my heart. It's from my heart. It's from my heart. It's from my heart. I see your blood is true. It's in my absent mind. If I got something to prove, it's just you and me and them. Sometimes I sigh and cry. Sometimes we all deny. When I talk about my devil, she ain't got no control. It's good to feel this careless about things that compromise. If you didn't know love, we'll rather see it die. It's for the heart. It's for the heart. It's for the heart. It's for the my good times are coming. My good friends are starting. Well, I tell you about my devil. She ain't got no control. There she goes. There she goes. There she goes. There she goes. There she goes.
Mercy Now with From the Heart here on the London Indie Underground. Need to take a moment to thank our unofficial beer sponsor, Moosehead. Delicious. If anybody happens to know anybody at Moosehead that's got a hookup, please hook us up.
Proudly independent.
They are. So it kind of
Indie.
lends itself well
Yeah,
to
yeah.
what we're trying to do. So earlier we had made mention, and this is kind of an ongoing theme in our previous podcasts, and we're looking to give feedback to not only the casual listener, but obviously to those independent artists that happen to be listening. And we're looking for opinion too from some of our guests about the complexities of the music industry and how to navigate through it. And one of the great debates that's come up has been with intellectual property and whether or not you charge for it or you give it away. And I know this is a real hot spot for some people. Some people are very pro, get your music out there, give it away. And James, you had made mention about making money off of shows and merchandise. But there's something to be said for the amount of time and effort and in money, in a lot of cases, that you put into honing your craft and ultimately coming up with a product to put into people's hands. And, Ryan, what would you say from your perspective? What would your opinion be in terms of intellectual property?
Well, you mentioned, people charging for their music and people giving their music away. Like, I feel like we live in the day and age where, some bands that aren't as well known, I see are giving away, like, EP cards, those little, like, credit card looking things,
Right.
with, like, a free track on it, or, go to my website, download this song. I think I kind of like that idea because it's a lesser known band, you're kind of getting a feel of what that band can do. And of course, a majority of the time you like what you hear, you go out and you buy their album, or you go to a show, and like we were mentioning earlier, some shows are free or $5 or $6.
Yep.
You go into the show, you really like this band, you buy their merch, you buy their record. So I don't know, it kind of goes either way in this day and age. Free music's always good, and you support them by buying their merch, going to their shows, and of course buying their albums too. So free music, I think that's what we're trying to get at, right? So
Right. Well, I mean, when you think about the digital revolution
Yeah.
and how these things like Napster have really impacted. I mean, I can within minutes I can have any new album that is released.
yeah.
Whether or not that's right, that is the truth, right?
Sometimes before it's even been released, you've got it.
True.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's what, it's kind of like the same thing though. And we talk about this all the time as you were mentioning. It's like the whole thing and this is just my take on it again. When you work for something, like you pay your hard-earned money for something, you appreciate it a lot more.
Right.
So if I buy, let's just say, we'll use Alexis on Fire, good, Southwestern Ontario band, right? I gladly buy their stuff. Same with the Get Up Kids. I gladly give the money to them, but I always give but because I'm paying my money for it, I give it a discerned listen to it. I don't give it the old infamous, radio release, record release party where it's like 3 seconds and you haven't impressed me, you're done. So I find that when I spend money on something, I kind of force myself to listen to it more because it's like, here I am. So when you're giving away your music, a lot of times you're basically giving people the option just to, I don't really care. Thanks for that.
You're setting the tone.
Yeah, you're setting the tone that
Yeah.
you've devalued your shit, right?
But how do you balance that with? Sorry, I feel like I'm taking Jimmy's spot here.
Not
But
at all.
I want to.
Not at all.
No, that's the discussion.
How do you balance that with like the environment nowadays? Like I don't want to be all old and say, oh, the kids of these days or whatever. But I
Please
mean,
do. It's fun.
But single like people write a single. It's not like the album anymore. How does that work? I don't know.
I like the Bandcamp idea where you can stream your music, but you just don't offer your music for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you want to listen to our stuff, you have to come to us and hear it. It's kind of, I think it was Joel or Dan that was talking about it last week, where it was, have merch, have stuff at your shows, and put on a hell of a good show when you do drop the rock to make people want to show interest. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I always say it when I first came to London. Like, I went and saw one of the first shows I saw was Sinclair, and I had
Sinclair, yeah.
I had no idea who they were, but they had cassettes and demo like CDs at the gig, and I bought the first album they put out, and I was blown away by it.
It was a great record.
And same with the band By a Thread. They came through, never heard them, saw the show, thought they were fantastic, bought the disc, and to this day I still really enjoy the music. But a lot of stuff where it's like, hey man, check us out. Even touring with the bands I toured with. Hey man, I really, we're big fans of your band. Check it out, and you get the cassette or the whatever the CD sampler they give you. You pop it in, it's free. You don't really care. You haven't invested anything into it, so you're just like, meh. You give them that 5 seconds. You
Yeah.
haven't impressed me yet. Oh, you use the sample from Die Hard or whatever to start your album out. Awesome. You're done, kind of thing. But when I buy the music, and as I say, I buy music. I'm not. If I download something for free, it's usually to get a sample to see if I want to spend my money on the.
Yeah,
on the
usually
album.
that like one free song can kind of be the start of a relationship between you and that band, because if you get a free song, you really like it, next time they're in London, you're like, oh, I'm going to go check these guys out. And from there, you pick up their album, you listen to it, you love it, and then the next time they come around, you keep buying their albums, you keep supporting the band. So,
Yep.
sometimes that one free EP can go a long way.
Yeah.
Ironically, though, the people that give their music away for free are the people that need the money the most.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Starving
Like,
artists.
you never get the free Jay-Z single. You might be able to stream the record, but you're never going to get that single for free. It's not going to be 99 cents. It's going to be $1.49 on
Yeah.
iTunes.
Well, that's the same with sponsorships, right? The kids who need the gear don't get it, but all the big guys,
Yeah.
they get every toy that they walk into the Marshall
Well, I
factory.
mean, they're the ones that technically are selling it on
Oh,
behalf. Though. Because I
completely.
mean, if I watch Braun Daler playing a Tama, whatever.
What are that picture I sent
I'm
you?
like, yeah, exactly. Then I got to have it.
Yeah, you want it. Oh, yeah, and I get that part of it as well. But at the same time, the company should have a little thought about the whole thing. Like, why don't we try and help?
Well,
the
there
little
are
guys?
some companies that do a great job of that, and one
Some
of them
are.
is like Los Cabos.
What
who
about
does
Vic Firth?
Yeah, who does drumsticks.
So I couldn't resist. Guys, if you're listening, I apologize. It's going to be an ongoing joke for the rest of my life. But still, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he London's new mayor? Vic Firth? He's going to be London's new mayor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
After
we had
Fontana's
we had a band that we
Played, I think, the second show?
Yeah, we had spun a track for them, and they politely asked us if we could thank Vic Firth Drumsticks on their behalf. So we did.
I don't. Okay.
So we thanked them.
Yep.
And all I said was, Vic Firth, if you're listening to our podcast, this band would like to thank you. And I mean, no
Yeah.
disrespect.
No.
It was a.
Is Vic Firth a real person?
No.
No. Well, maybe at one time.
Okay,
It's
I
a-
don't know.
Well, it's a
But it was
stick.
a
Can we
company-
Google if
stick-
he's dead? I don't know.
Yeah, we can.
I can. But as
Let's
you
check
say,
that out.
Maybe-
the funnier part is, or the part that I still find humorous is just it's almost like the, and I hate to say it like this, but it's so youth, like it's young.
I would really sincerely hope that this band is actually sponsored by Vic Firth and not just buying their drumsticks and then thanking them.
Thanking them, exactly,
Right?
exactly. Yeah, because why are you giving props?
Because,
to your-
I go off on a rant on ProMark all the time because I buy a batch of sticks and I break them in 3 seconds. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
But and that's the thing, like when we put out our albums and stuff, you couldn't get sponsors. Like you'd write to GHS, and to this day, it's the funniest thing that anybody in my band will tell you is the fact that we tried to get sponsorships for GHS strings because
Boomers.
that's what we played. We
Yeah,
liked them.
Boomers,
They were slinky, they were easy, and they were cheap for us, so it worked out well. We tried to get sponsorships there, nothing. Any gear we tried to get sponsorship for, nothing. And we had an okay album. Like the album was coming out and had some push behind it. We couldn't get anything. Where did we get our sponsorships from? Vans skateboarding shoes, Limited snowboarding,
KFC.
No KFC. That's, yeah. But we couldn't get sponsorships for the industry that we were in.
That's bizarre.
But the industry that we weren't in were glad to give us like a ton of stuff, like cases of shoes. Like it was a phone call. Hey, we need more shoes. They would show up.
I do know Los Cabos, which is an independent
Right, you said-
drumstick manufacturer. They sponsor Derek from Staylefish,
Right.
drummer for Staylefish.
Mhm.
They sponsor him. And as a matter of fact, Jason, you probably saw, Jason's in the other room right now, rather working on some of the photos.
Trying to make me skinny.
So Jason Rorda took some photos
Thin
for
booth.
Staylefish when they played with Il Scarlet at the London Music Hall,
Yep.
and one of your photos was actually published by Los Cabos as part of an endorsement for Derek from Staylefish, and I tagged you
Nice.
in that photo. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
Yeah, it was up on their website.
Wow.
So I made sure to or on their Facebook page rather. I shouldn't say website.
You've gone big time, buddy.
Yeah. So one of your photos was published, buddy. Good for you.
Aren't they
There you
supposed
go.
to notify you first before they publish one of your photos?
Well, I think it was Derek that sent it
Oh,
into
okay.
them. So I guess the assumption there is that he owns the digital rights to that photo. I don't know. You can talk to SoCan.
Yep, so.
Well, then there you go.
But if they
Uh,
get money from that, then I should get money.
No, they won't get money from it. They're just using it to illustrate that this
So
is
maybe
one
if
of
they
their
really like the
performers.
photo, there's something in it for you.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
Maybe they'll
you're
have
taking
me-
more
I'll
photos.
show you. I'll show you offline.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So, my take on this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you want to put your stuff out there for free, put it up onto a site where people can stream it. But I honestly believe, if you're an artist, and music is always already.
And just ask somebody.
Well, music is already devalued enough as it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the price of CDs hasn't gone up. If anything, it's come down.
And I'll
right?
just say, because I knew you were bringing up this topic, and I just wanted to say it, and I'm going to say it on the podcast.
Do it.
And I love these guys to death, and you're wearing their shirt. But when I came here and they were performing, and they gave me one of their CDs for free,
Yeah.
I felt so horrible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, guys, why are you giving your CD? Like, in my head, I was like, you people will pay for this. Like Music Every Day, it's a great CD.
Right.
It's worth $10.
Right.
So that I was just like, I would have hoped that there would have been, a price tag attached to it, and I would have
Well,
definitely.
up until recently, the Salad's new CD, Music Every Day,
it's
was
amazing.
They were giving it away for free as part of a couple of exclusive events, this being one
Yeah.
of them, right, which is kind of a kickoff. because they don't necessarily have the same draw in London that they did before, or the same level of awareness. And up until recently, it was available exclusively through their website at thesalads.com.
And you could download it for free,
as
too.
No, you could stream it for free, but it wasn't available for download for free. As of December 4th, it's on iTunes.
Okay.
So
So
they're charging
I'm
straight up,
going to
yeah.
throw this out there
Yeah.
for all you Salads fan. If you got a CD for free when you came out here and saw their awesome performance, go on iTunes and buy it.
Yeah, you need money to make more
Yeah.
music. That's the whole thing. I don't, and that's the thing. I think to this day, and there is like you can go online and see some of the conversations, arguments guys have, and I would always say 95% of the people who say that music should be made free, to them are people who don't play music.
Yep.
They just
They've never written
you
a
know,
song in
Yeah,
their
they're
life.
they're basically couch jockeys who want to be entertained, and they're the same people that when they go to see the show stand in the back, and
I think we're all controversial. This is controversial because there's a lot of people, like you said, that that give their music away for free.
They really do.
I know.
Two Crown King gave their EP away for free.
I know.
You could go to their website right now, and you can download the EP for
Like,
free.
Yep.
However,
Charge
it is
a
on
buck
iTunes.
or do like a click, like pay what you want or whatever.
My sister sent me a text to inquire about the Two Crown King album because she really liked the sounds that she heard on the show. And I told her, you can go to the website and you can get it for free.
Mm-hmm.
And what did she do? She went to iTunes.
Sweet.
She's like, I just put, $10 or however much into their account.
Yep.
Which I thought was awesome, right? So if you like it, buy it.
Yep.
And that's kind of our theme. You take a look at our Twitter page. That's what it says in the background. Actually, I think this is a great segue into a promo that we're going to be doing that has a bit of a story that I need to share with you guys. I'm going to ask you to bear with me. I'll try to keep this short and sweet. So a good friend of mine, who shall remain nameless, works for
Vic Firth.
Yes. Works for a major shipping company. So this particular company, they do have policies with respect to suspect packages. So if somebody comes in and is looking to ship a package that they suspect may contain, drugs or whatever, they have to follow up by way of calling in and saying that, we suspect that this package is suspect. So this one day in particular, somebody comes in, they put a package on the counter. Our friend thinks that there's, it's questionable. So he calls up the hotline or whatever the number is and says, I think there's contraband in this package. And it's the way that he said contraband was so emphatic. Like, it was contraband. So we took to calling him contraband. Further, it went to Crazy Uncle Contraband. Then we started writing a jingle. And we wrote this jingle, and then we came up with this phrasing called Crazy Uncle Contraband's Fuck It $5. Now, some of you listening might know what I'm talking about, and some of you may not. So the initial idea that we came up with were, let's say you had a pizza shop, okay? And it was called Crazy Uncle Contraband's Fuck It $5. When you wanted to order a pizza, you would call in to Crazy Uncle Contraband. They'd answer the phone. And as quick as you could rattle off toppings, we would include that on the pizza, okay? But you'd have a limited amount of time to call in your order. Like, I'm talking seconds, okay? And the reason why is because we wouldn't want any lollygaggers on the phone. Sometimes you're calling in, and you're like, yeah, I got pizza on the phone. What do you guys want on your pizza? Well, if you didn't get your order in quick enough, we'd hang up on you. We'd say, fuck it, $5, and we'd deliver dough to your house, right? On the other hand, if you ended up rattling off a bunch of toppings, $5, you get a hell of a deal, right? So we wrote this whole jingle, and it was pretty funny, but obviously not very likely. So then we thought, okay, well, what if we established like a website called Fuck It $5, where you could go and there would just be random things that were available on the website, just arbitrary stuff that you could go and purchase for $5, like weird little collectible stuff and
A
just
doorstop.
like weird things, strange and unusual. But it turns out that there's a website called Fiverr.com that you can go to, and you can purchase strange and unusual items for $5. One of them, just as an example, was some Australian guy that you send him text, and he will read the text recorded into a microphone and send you back, anything that you want read in an Australian accent, which was just an example of one of the weird things. Another one was, when you do the upside down face guy, when you put like little eyes on your chin, somebody would do that for $5, right?
Wow.
And record some messages. So there's all kinds of weird stuff on there. So, anyways, the jingle kind of faded into the background, and I got to tell you, for a while, it kind of ran like wildfire through our friends, and everybody was singing it because it was so catchy. So I decided to parlay this idea into something that would, work for what we're trying to do here.
Nice.
I think the words say it all. So listen, here's what we're looking to do. So in the new year, some of you may have seen our posts up on Facebook and Twitter and otherwise. We are going to be doing live performances as part of our London, our indie streams here in the studio. So on a Wednesday night, we're going to have bands that come in and do a 2 or 3 song performance here. And at the same time, we're going to open up our doors to people that would like to come in and, listen in on our live broadcast and maybe take part. But what we really want to do is try to put some music into your hands. And we want to make music affordable to you. And what we've asked bands, and we have a partnership with some that have connected with us, that if you're interested in selling your music for $5. Now, the catch is, we don't want to sell music online. We don't want to ship music to anywhere other than London, because what we're trying to do is support the London community. And we want to do it by putting a face to the name. So those bands that are interested in selling your music for $5, we want to partner with you and have some physical copies here in the studio, so that when we do have people that come down that want to listen to a live band perform and maybe, like some of the sampling that they've heard from our podcast here, they'd be interested in purchasing some music for $5, which of course is going to go directly to the bands. We're not necessarily asking for bands to devalue their music, but at the same time, instead of giving it away for free as a token gesture for $5, you'll be able to connect directly with some fans and, like I said, put a name to the face. So one of the first promos that we're going to be doing, which is going to be in January, I'll be making an announcement shortly about the first band that's going to perform. But we do have some copies here of Two Crown King, the EP in vinyl, which is awesome. I've got a copy sitting over there. So we're going to be selling these copies for $5 here from the studio, which I think is a great promo. But that's just an example. There's a couple others that are in the hopper here. We're waiting for some bands to connect with us. So if you happen to be a band that's interested in having your music available to some of our listeners here at the studio, we encourage you to connect with us so we can get some copies for you. We're happy to sell it on your behalf. Believe me, we're not looking for any compensation here for doing this. We just want to help you get some music into some fans' hands and get some music into your ears so that you might not otherwise not hear. So the first one will be Two Crown King, in addition to some others, but we do have vinyl available for $5, which I think is going to be a great promo. So if you dig it, let us know. We'd be happy to help you out.
It's very King of the Hill.
I love that.
I like
it.
it.
It really is King of the Hill.
So I recorded that here just one afternoon. I had a little drum pad over there that I used for the drums. And I just threw that together. And I know 3 people now that's their ringtone on their phone.
You should go into the jingle business on the side, too.
Shouldn't
Might
I,
as
though?
well just add that into everything you got going on.
Shouldn't I? Man, I got way too much stuff on the go. I mean, I'd be happy to do it, though, if somebody was really interested.
It's a good idea, though.
Great idea.
So it's Crazy Uncle Contraband's fucking $5. And there you have it. All right, so let's get to some more music here. So I have to spin a track for a gentleman by the name of Jamie Kunts. And I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, Jamie. I know you're a big supporter of ours. I always see you retweeting our posts. So obviously, goes around, comes around. I want to pay back a little karma. And this is a song by Jamie Kunts. This is called Muskoka Chair on the London Indie Underground.
To pick you up from your little city home. You were standing there beside your Muskoka chair, lips round a cigarette, looking real classy. I wish that my lips could be that cigarette, but I know one day you'll just forget me. But I know one day you'll just forget about me. And I went to pick you up at your little city home, and you weren't standing there beside your Muskoka chair. Maybe you just forgot, and I feel like an ass. See, next time I'll call ahead and avoid this travesty. Now I know one day you'll just forget me. Now I know one day you'll just forget about me.
Jamie Kunts with Muskoka Chair in the London Indie Underground. It's been a great night tonight so far. We got some great feedback, and I think we provided some quality content in terms of, James, some of the stuff that you spoke about. I have to be honest with you. I didn't even know all of the specifics about what's available for me as a SOCAN member. I've been a member since 1997 or 96.
I know. Yeah, there's all sorts of crazy stuff. And I mean, I don't want to kind of do a proper kind of like a shout out or whatever, but if anybody wants to get in contact with me, my Twitter handle's @MusicCop with a K. And if you have SOCAN related questions or anything like that, you can get a hold of me there, and I can help you out.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
For those that have not registered your music, and I know, many of our listeners are musicians from this area, it's very simple to do. And as a matter of fact, you can do it online, where you key in your music, the title of the track, who the principal songwriters were, or the division if it's amongst many people. You have to put in the length of the song, and
you don't even have to send a clip. Like, it's just
and they will collect royalties on your behalf if you have your music that's played on any commercial radio or licensed by anything. I mean, up until not all that long ago, I was still getting money from some of our airplay from stuff from way back.
Yeah, even if your stuff gets played on CHRW, like some of the first royalty music that I received was from CHRW. And the cool thing about not being played on commercial radio, Ryan, I'm not sure if you're aware, but a spin on commercial radio is worth, I don't know, like maybe between $2 and $3, something like that. But if you get kind of tracked on non-commercial radio, it could be way more than that.
Really?
Yeah. Because
did not know that.
Yeah, and that gets it gets bumped up by some other pool, because we know that non-commercial radio, they're not playing all the same stuff all the time. It's like an eclectic mix. So when you get picked up, the royalties a bit more to help everybody out.
So do you want to hear a throwback Fonix song?
Oh, I'd love to. Can you do the what's the? I can't sing it, but the first track.
Oh, no, I don't have that on
The Fair,
here.
what is it?
I Want to Be a Journalist.
I Want to Be a Journalist.
Yeah, newspaper says
yeah.
we should all...
Something about a fair, right?
I don't have that one here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Play the other one then, because I like that one too.
The other one?
I'm just play some Fonix, man.
I will. So I'll tee this up quick. So this track is from 1997 or 98. I think it's 98. And Lee Rogers, who was the singer-songwriter in the band, and myself had come from London here to Fanshawe College to record with a friend of ours. His name is Noel Dubose. And Noel was from Northern Ontario, came down here to take music industry arts. And this was a final project that he was doing. And I don't know if they still do this at MIA, but every year they have the MIA awards, or at least they did. And they would honor, that year's group and select, producer of the year, engineer of the year, project of the year, whatever the case may be. And this particular song ended up winning production of the year.
Oh, cool.
So it features myself, which I'm playing drums and bass, and Lee Rogers was guitar and vocals. We wrote this song more or less the night before, but finished it on the way in the van to London. So I had my bass out, and we were singing along and trying to figure out exactly what we were going to do. And it's a bit of a quieter number, but the beginning, what you're going to hear, the song, by the way, is called "The Answer on My Brain." And the beginning of it, we tried to make it sound like, you know, if the sound of ants was amplified and they were going through a tunnel. So what we did is at the bottom of Studio 2 at Fanshawe, we took a microphone out into the hallway, into the staircase, which of course is big and wide open, and a bunch of us ran up and down the stairs to try to make it sound like there was a number of feet on the ground, and then we sped it up. So I think it was pretty cool. But anyways, this is a throwback track. I'm not sure if you've heard this one, but this is Fonix, my old band from back in the day, with "The Answer on My Brain" here on the London Indie Underground.
And you don't see what hits you anymore. The conflict embeds in the swords, and the army is gathering around. They are biting and chewing your friends, and they love to hate you, and they hate to love you. You can't trample the hill that they're on, 'cause they're targeting and they're out. Can't implement that here. Truth is out, my dear. Listen here, my dear. Try to captivate and they do. Truth is up to you. But are we really truly together?
Fonix with "The Answer on My Brain" here on the London Indie Underground. We're just saying offline, you know, my experience in recording it kind of back in the day was, you know, previous to Pro Tools and Auto-Tune. You know, that was 2-inch tape, baby, and we cut it until we got it right. And that was a bleary session. We were recording, I think the block that we had was from 2 a.m.
It was always 2 a.m. to 5 or
Yeah.
something weird.
Studio time.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's the most inspiring time because you're against the clock. You know what I mean? And to have one song that you want to do in that amount of time. I mean, when you're recording on tape, it takes a lot longer, right? It's not like nowadays where I can edit stuff in like 10 minutes. Then, you were cutting tape or whatever you had to do. And
And God forbid you're recording a 10-minute song.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like proggy kind of thing.
Although I think back then, I don't think we did any tape edits. I think we just worked on just making sure that we had the performance correct. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. I had a great time doing that.
Fueled by Jolt Cola?
It might have been, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have Red Bull back then. You know what? Let's play with this soundboard here for a second.
Shop smart, shop S-Mart.
Yeah. Is there any classic Bruce quotes that you guys usually bust out?
I don't know.
Kiss me.
Shop smart. Shop S-Mart.
Oh, Bruce Campbell. If you don't follow him on Twitter, he's a very active Twitterite. Twitterer.
Yeah.
Twat.
Yeah,
Twat,
twat
yeah.
is what I go by. Yeah.
He's very active on the twits.
Yeah.
And
He answers a lot of questions.
He does. He
It's-
does.
Which is pretty awesome. A lot
And
of
I
guys don't.
I think they're redoing the Evil Dead too.
They
right?
are. They are. Evil Dead's being redone.
Necronomicon.
I don't know, man. I just take exception with some of these films that they're redoing. I
Yeah.
just don't think that, you don't redo a classic.
Yeah. Well, I've been following. He's right into it though. He thinks it's awesome. That's
Oh
what he's
yeah,
doing.
well, I mean, of course, because he's probably getting paid money for consultation fees, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, him and Sam Raimi are like best friends, so can't see Sam cutting him out of the pie.
Like
What-
I finally watched Total Recall.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah,
How was it?
it's horrible.
Is it really that
Yeah.
bad?
It's really bad. So they've changed some of the storyline, right? But at the same time, they've kept in some of those key things, like
The
do you-
three-breasted lady.
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah.
kept the three-breasted lady, which I was glad. I mean, come on, it's 3 boobs.
Yeah, exactly.
But the when he walks through in the original, when he walks through customs and he's got the head and he's like
Yeah,
the old
yeah.
lady and they're like, well, how long do you have any fruits or vegetables? How long are you here for? And he's like 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and the head starts freaking out, right? Well, in the movie, there's another lady that happens to walk through, which immediately you think, okay, well, this is him. They're reenacting the same scene, right? And she says 2 weeks, but it turns out that's not him. He's actually behind this lady, and he's wearing some type of contraption that around his neck that creates a hologram over your head, so it makes you look like somebody else. And of course, it short circuits and whatever, and so they end up catching him. But it was bad.
Yeah, the classics have to remain the classics.
They're remaking Waterworld. I read about that last
What?
night. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Waterworld bombed back in the day.
It was the biggest bomb ever
Yeah.
in
So
motion
why would they
history.
remake
Yeah.
it? I don't know.
Was
I
it?
think I went to the theater to
thought-
see it. That's embarrassing.
Dryland.
What was the real crappy movie that why can't I remember his name? John Travolta. What was that movie that he did that it was
Look Who's Talking To?
Battlefield Earth
Oh
or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
Battleship
that?
Earth. I know. I know the. I
That
know
was
the-
a huge flop too.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, Waterworld, because of the amount of the sets.
The amount of
Yeah.
water.
It was, the amount of sets that they used on
Whole
that thing
world.
is what. But the problem is it became an underground classic for people that they really got into it. And I've seen it. It's like The Postman. I never.
Yeah,
it's like
totally. It's
all those self-serving movies that he made after
some
that.
of Costner's bad decisions.
Yeah.
He's made a few.
Yeah.
He'll come back in a Quentin Tarantino movie and be popular again.
Yeah.
I think he went by that whole thing of the Field of Dreams. If I make it, they will pay money and watch it.
What was it? What was the movie? It was like Postmaster Ford Lincoln Mercury or something. What was his name?
Isn't it the Postmaster?
Was it the
The
Postmaster?
Postman or whatever?
Postman, yeah.
Yeah, the Postman, yeah. Post-apocalyptic postman.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's plausible.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to deliver mail.
Well,
No?
yeah. Well, we have
I
the
don't know.
we have
I-
the interwebs
Yeah,
now.
they would have had email by then. Right?
I worked at a video store and I don't even remember that movie. I don't even think it made it. It wasn't even direct to DVD or whatever.
No.
Well, like I said, I think there's some classics that you just need to leave alone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to redo them.
Yeah, I heard. Actually, I was down in Detroit, and what did I see in the store was Christmas Story 2.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Like, what the heck?
Starring Daniel Stern.
Stern, yeah. And I'm like, why are you... It's like doing the Slapshot
It's a
2 and 3.
continuation of the
Like,
original story of
Yeah.
A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
We were
the
having a
same
conversation
characters
about
and everything.
Ghostbusters today because I was listening to Zuul's, and Zuul's is from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But Ghostbusters should have stopped at Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Ghostbusters, the new one's coming out, and I'm just mad.
Yeah.
Now, does
yeah.
it feature the original cast?
I don't know. It's
Bill
it's
Murray
Ghostbusters
seems to be
3.
on board, then he's
yeah.
not.
Yeah, I
And
think like it's kind of like the same thing. They do a little guest appearance and then they just vanish kind of deal. But
Harold Ramis says that he wants to write most of it, so...
It's lame.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just leave it.
what
Bring
has
back
Ramis written anything good? Like, I
Not
don't
really.
recall.
His name? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I remember those guys from SCTV when
Yeah.
all that, and that stuff was pretty bizarre and funny. But you know, and the amount of stuff that he was involved in, like, wasn't he in? He was in Caddy. He was
Yeah.
he wrote,
Yeah, he wrote
co-wrote
Caddyshack.
That
Caddyshack.
stuff always has its time, right?
Yeah.
It's just like the Metallica conversation.
Yeah,
You
right.
know what I mean? It's like they had their time and it's done.
Yeah, come
Your
up.
time
Well,
has passed.
Hollywood's all based on, you know, remakes, right?
Mhm.
I'm waiting for them to do "It's a Wonderful Life" and just
Yeah.
destroy Christmas for everybody going forward. No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for them to do it.
I'm
Jay-
waiting for them to redo Strange Brew.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Or Canadian bacon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Canadian
Yeah.
bacon. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because, I mean, Rick Moranis and Dave
Thomas.
are still both alive, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
But they would
Moranis
get
kinda
younger
They,
dudes
disappeared.
to do it,
I know,
though.
but they should
Yeah.
reprise their roles and, like, you know, fast forward and look at, you know, the modern day
Oh,
Bob
okay.
and Doug
Yeah,
McKenzie.
yeah.
What was the best sequel?
would be in the exact same place right now.
Yep.
Probably.
Doing the exact same thing.
Probably.
Yep. Mom and Dad would be gone, but they would still have the house. And they'd
What was
still
their
just-
dog's name?
Probably Hoser. I don't
Hoser.
remember.
That's right. That's exactly
Hoser.
what it was. You know, that's the safe money guess, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, that was I had read somewhere that they were going to remake The Jerk by Steve Martin's film The Jerk. And
I think they are. I
and
think
and
that's
was-
for real.
And I was like, why would you, like, it's such an amazing film.
Yeah.
Just if you can watch it today and still, like, bust a nut laughing on it, why remake
Why
it?
redo
You're
it?
just going to destroy it. You're gonna,
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like, do you really think that remaking It's a Wonderful Life, you were going to capture any of the Jimmy Stewart's heartfelt performance or anything going on?
Well,
no,
their bullshit line's always like, "Oh, we're gonna update it." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, we're gonna update
We're gonna
it for
reintroduce it to a
today's
new generation.
You
Yeah.
know, it's the internet will be in it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, something
They
stupid.
they
like
did that with the new Miracle on 34th Street. Just speaking of Christmas films, and that blew as well. Like, there's just something about, like, the imagery of, like, Frank Capra's, like, black and white photography on that film and the real diehard performances.
That'd be like if you tried to redo National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, completely.
or any of them for that matter.
Yeah.
You know, I would boycott if they tried to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
with
Shitter's
you.
Full. Come on.
Yeah.
They actually have a sequel to that, too, where Eddie is the main character.
Really?
Yeah. It went straight to DVD. I saw it at
I'm not
Walmart the other
surprised.
day. Yeah, don't see it.
Yeah, like, I'm good. If I want to watch shit movies, I'm
Yeah.
going to watch, like, all these new, you know, Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus and stuff. And
Sign up for
two-
Netflix. All the shitty movies.
two-headed
you can watch
shark.
for
True, they're all
$8.99.
there.
Yeah.
That's all they have.
Yeah, but, you know, I'll watch those because they're hilarious to me, but don't remake the films that
Yeah.
basically shaped my childhood, you know, of what...
Like Waterworld.
Yeah, totally. The only thing that I really like on Netflix right now, and they've even taken some away, is Kenny versus Benny. They had them
Yeah.
all there.
Oh, yeah,
This is a great show.
Those guys. I'm surprised they didn't kill each other.
Yeah, Scotty from Two Crown King met Kenny. Just
Oh,
happened to be riding his bike down the street in Toronto. Turned around. He's like, Kenny, what's up? We got off his bike. He came over. He hung out with him for like 10 minutes. Got some
Jeez.
pictures taken. And this
Sweet.
was after we had mowed down like a marathon of episodes. And I don't think he had really watched many of them to that point. But then he tweeted me the picture, or texted me the picture or whatever. I'm like, no way. I wish I had been there. So listen, a couple of announcements and we're going to get to some music. So next week, December 5th, next Wednesday, we are going to be joined by Hooch Parkins from the Matadors, which I'm very excited to connect with. I know he's an avid Star Trek fan, so I'm sure that he and I will get along famously.
Old or new?
I think everything.
Okay.
Everything. I think he's into it all.
Okay.
Which, incidentally, Comic-Con this year,
Yep.
which is in Toronto, March 9th and 10th, featuring the bridge crew of the Star Trek Next Generation. Damn! I gotta go.
Ryan, you look as excited
I'm a
as I am.
Star Wars guy.
Are
So,
ya?
yeah.
Well, okay, so imagine...
I'm just a not Star Trek
Yeah.
guy. Is
so
that okay?
imagine if, like, the original cast, like Harrison Ford
Carrie
and
Fisher,
Carrie
Mark
Fisher.
Hamill. That'd be pretty
Imagine if they
badass.
were in Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my excitement, right?
You mean like
For
Jean-Luc
me-
Picard Next Generation? Like was that
Yes.
Next Generation?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be
Yeah.
pretty
So
I can
Riker's
relate.
going to be there. Data, Worf, even Beverly Crusher, aka Gates McFadden. She's going to be there. Marina Sirtis, who is.
Are you
going to
dress up, Jimmy?
No.
Jim, just so
should.
you know, at the house, and I'm not proud to tell you this, I do have a Next Generation shirt.
Do you?
Yeah, like the black and burgundy thing.
I have. Well, you saw my Enterprise shirt.
No, I didn't. Oh,
No?
yeah. No, I'm
Yeah.
talking like the one that they kind of wore.
Really?
Yeah, I'll bring it for you.
Please do.
And if you and the reality of it is I didn't go out and buy it. It came with a lot of jerseys I was purchasing.
Sure it
I
It
thought you were going to say it came in like a box of cereal for a second.
Man, that would
It
be
came in
sweet.
a
I got one piece of
box.
cereal. I got one Cheerio, but the shirt, but it's too small. But damn. Anyways, I'll bring it in for you.
So next week, Joel will be, or pardon me, Hooch rather. Hooch
Yeah.
Parkins.
Yep.
Doesn't like to be referred to as Joel, but Hooch.
Hooch
We'll talk
Parkins.
some Star Trek and all things Matadors. Which, if you're not familiar with the Matadors, you need to go and check them out on Facebook. They have a unique brand of music called Horrorbilly.
the
which-
upright bass guy, right?
Yeah,
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 okay.
and they're awesome. I really
They're
dig
still
them.
around. They've been around for a long time.
They have been,
Yeah.
and they tour everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Everywhere. They just got back. They were on a West Coast swing.
Sweet.
They were in.
Hopefully they're sending in their SOCAN paper.
Well, of course, of course. The following week, December 12th, we'll be joined by Brandon Eady, your
Okay.
friend of mine, local promoter.
Yep.
We're always excited to have him on the show. He's always got some interesting and vulgar things to say. No, we just have a good time when he's on the show, so I'm looking forward to that. However, December 8th, which is next Saturday, we're having a free open house event here, sponsored by the London Indie Underground, hosted by the Vault Recording Studio. It's going to be the Creekside Strays Bad Christmas Sweater Party. It's going to be a bring your own extra beer. Some will be provided. But if you're interested in coming out, it's going to be all about Christmas cheer. That's right, Christmas.
That's correct.
We're taking Christmas back. Ugly fashion and some great music. So please come and join us. Open house. Love to have you. Our only catch is that you need to be in some Christmas garb, preferably. I picked up my sweater yesterday, which I want to tell you about, but I can't because I just want to show it off when I get it because I will win. We are going to be giving away some prizes for the ugliest Christmas sweater, and I don't know if I can necessarily prize myself, but
No.
we will be giving away some
I
prizes.
You
will
can
tell
give
you-
yourself an honorable mention.
I will tell you, no, you
Certainly.
cannot prize yourself.
Gary, you going to come?
Yes.
You got to be here.
It's kind of crazy. For the first year of my life, I've been invited out to a ton of things, and I'm actually double booked on things, but I'm here.
Really?
Yeah, every year there's a big thing that they do. Friends of ours called the Santa Crawl. It's been going on for many years. The rule is that you have to dress either like Santa or Mrs. Claus. No elves are allowed. And we basically go on a pub crawl all around downtown London. And the first year I was there was maybe 35 of us dressed up as Santa and Mrs. Claus. And then last year, which I missed due to crap circumstances, but there was like 85 Santa Clauses all downtown.
Nice.
And I was planning on...
bus?
No, we walk all downtown. And I was planning on going this year. Got the invite, and then our thing here came up, and I was like, well, so the girl is going instead to that. I'm driving her there, and then coming here, partying here at the in the chalet,
A little eggnog.
in the Vault Chalet, and then going back to pick her up.
If you've not been here before, our studio, we've got this studio set up where people can come in and listen to a live band, but we have cameras that are located in our control, or in our live room rather, and across the hall from us we have a party lounge.
It's
which-
really awesome.
Where
Yeah.
we have a
Creepy
projector,
Mhm.
we broadcast the podcast, and we have audio that's pumped in from this room into the other. So people will be encouraged to go back and forth between the two rooms. Like I said, there's going to be some prize giveaways. It's going to be a lot of fun.
There's a
And-
dead person and an oyster, I think. I was pretty drunk, but I remember
Yeah,
a dead
yeah.
person
There
and
is an
oyster.
oyster tub
Yeah, I
over
was here
there
for
that
that
has a
too.
skeleton in it.
Yeah,
That's
I was
where I
here.
know you
I got the
from.
free salad CD too.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
go and buy it online.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. I've
All
had
I can
my
say
rants.
though is just keep out of my chair.
That's right. The fat guy chair.
This is my P-card chair.
It may make you look.
Fat.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how skinny you are, you just look fat.
Well, Jason put you in thin booth. I think he altered your photo.
It didn't work. If you notice, actually, there's like a very there's the only photo of me this week.
You've been
is
pinching
it's
your
just
fingers
like
together.
I'm like in the kind of background because he's like he was taking photos like, yeah, no, these just make you all look stupidly fat. And as you guys can see, that's not really the case. Why do I work out? Because I don't.
You should coach a football team.
I should. I should.
And then go to
See,
Burger King.
man.
I coach a ball hockey team, but it's not doing anything for me there either. Curses.
We're going to get to some music.
Do it.
I'm going to spin a band here called A New Beginning. We've featured them before, podcast I believe 2 ago. And we've been talking an awful lot about, how we're all in this together
Mm-hmm.
and about building a community and a scene here in London. And these guys have been great. They're always pumping everybody's tires, us included. They've shown some love back to us. And I see an awful lot of posts from them, not only about their band, but about other shows that are happening and encouraging their fans to come out and support this band or that band. And I think, that's really important. And I think that goes a long way to helping us build a scene here in London, because we have some fantastic talent. We've got some great people, some great individuals. So let's support each other, shall we?
Yep.
Sounds good.
This is A New Beginning with Tell Tom Jones We'll Be Late with the Rent on the London Indie Underground. A New Beginning here on the London Indie Underground. Bit of a heavier number for you folks. We do have a pretty mixed bag of music here. Ryan, a question for you.
What's up?
Do you still have bands or artists send CDs into the radio station?
All the
do
time.
People, yeah?
All the time. Actually, when I was music director in Brockville, I'd come into work every day with a nice little third grade envelope sitting on my desk, and I'd open it up, and it would be a band sending a CD in, and they clearly, made their album cover in paint and put it in the case. But no, yeah, there was a lot of local bands trying to send their CDs in, and a lot of bands or musical acts now will send in almost like a portfolio of their work, and let us know where they've been showcased before. Let us know the track listing, their bio. It's pretty interesting in how creative some people can get. But to answer your question, people still do it, and still bring in the CDs all the time.
So are you guys able to play any of them?
Yeah,
In the office.
Yeah, like we obviously review these songs. We have a weekly music meeting, and this happens at every single radio station. It's not just the ones I've worked at, where in the music meeting, the program director, who's the big boss, the music director, will sit down, they'll listen to this new music and say, all right, will this fit the sound of, say, Fresh FM or FM 96? If it does, it could potentially be added. Sometimes it's harder for a song to get added if it hasn't charted on the Canadian Top 50. So I'm not sure if we were on the air talking about this or if we were off air, but I mentioned a couple stations in Toronto that sometimes add an artist that's never been heard of before. So they'll add this, a big station in Toronto, then you'll start to see the Londons, the Hamiltons, the Windsors adding these type of artists.
From a corporate position, how risky is it to do something like that? Like what's the risk?
Well, there's not really a risk per se, but just think about it. So say one of the biggest songs, one of the biggest Canadian movers right now is, have you heard of the Lumineers?
Yes.
Yep.
Ho Hey. That song is it is moving so fast on the Canadian charts right now. So if a radio station was to say add an unknown artist over this song that is really freaking good in Canada that the listeners will love, what are you really going to do, right? You're more likely to add a song if it's charting and it's doing well. Most likely smaller markets, even London might fall into that, where they won't really add a newer band or a newer singer like into rotation right away. We'll usually wait for like a Toronto or a Montreal or a Vancouver, something like that to add it first. But when people bring in CDs, we can't just be like, oh, sweet song, we're going to play this. You know what I mean? It's got to kind of show charting position before we go ahead with it.
Right.
So you're not taking bribes like they used to in the 50s?
No payola.
Okay.
No.
Damn.
No.
Oh.
But, there's a lot of other alternatives now, like some major companies are doing a thing called like the independent artist, right? So these independent artists could submit a song, and it's put into a monthly survey. Music directors vote on the songs, and a song that has the most votes could be, a featured song across Canada as the, so-and-so emerging artist, right?
Is that kind of like out of the box when FM 96 used to do that vote thing?
Yeah, kind of.
But I mean, it was more popular bands, but it was like
Yeah.
maybe a deep cut or something you never heard, right?
Yeah. Like, if your audience gives a really positive feedback and they love it and they want to hear more of it, then sure, the radio station might want to add it. But, if there's that one group that's pushing their friend's band, just constantly on Twitter, on Facebook, they're emailing you, it's always the same people. It's cool that, you're giving recognition to that band, but really you want to see charting in Canada, and, it all starts somewhere. So it's so to answer your question, Jimmy, if somebody brings in a CD, it's kind of got to go through a little bit of a process first. So we can't really just play it right away if it's a band we've never heard of before.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but we might recommend, because the radio industry is very small, you might be able to recommend, say, this band that submitted music to you. You might be able to recommend them to another station that could potentially play their music in a smaller market.
Well, you guys are, you're under the Chorus umbrella, right?
Yes, we're Chorus Entertainment, so
there's a lot of potential there because you have different formats.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
And for all intents and purposes, you're in the same building, right?
Yeah.
You're like down the hall.
Yeah,
I've
pretty
been
much.
there
We have
a few
4
times.
stations in the building. So a rock station, a 70s, 80s, and 90s. We have the Fresh FM and a news station. So, but
You're probably aware Sarah Burke is involved here with the London.
yeah.
Indie
I
Underground.
was here when she was hosting the Salads
Yeah,
Party,
she's
so-
actually going to be hosting the next event, which is
Nice.
next Saturday,
Right on.
the 8th, with the Creekside Strays, our Bad Christmas Sweater Party.
Nice.
Sarah will be here as part of our host, and as a matter of fact, we're going to be recording on this Saturday. It's going to be a taped thing, but we're going to be doing a live, or pardon me, an album premiere podcast for the Staylefish, their new album that's coming out.
Right on.
We're just about to wrap up. The mixes are just about done, so she'll be coming in to join us, and we'll be
That
putting
track
together.
sounded great, by the way, when you went to the
Thanks, man.
bathroom or
I'm
whatever.
glad you dig it.
Yeah, it was really,
I'm gonna.
really cool.
That'll be the track that we end off here with. But that said, I want to get to some more music real quick, if
Yeah.
you guys don't mind. I'm gonna play the Salads which you have the new album. Have you guys checked out Sunny Monday yet? I think that's my favorite song on the disc, apart from Boombox.
yeah.
It's a little slow. My kid likes it. He likes that. That's his favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we'd bring it down a little bit here. That last track was a bit heavy, so perhaps our
Love
listeners like to listen to something a little bit more chill. Check this out.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Mr. D from The Salads, and you're listening to London Indie Underground.
The weekend's gone, but that's okay. Off to the beach to catch some rays anyways. Listen what the man them say. I'll be fine today. No boss to bother me. I control my destiny. Rewind back to good times of yesterday. Make it what you see. All the clouds have gone away. Another sunny Monday. Wish my working friends could stay. On a sunny Monday, we can just let our children play. Cause it's a sunny Monday. Yeah, we gonna go down by the bay. On a sunny Monday. The week is just beginning, and I am right here, right beside you, singing for you. So what you gonna do? Miss your party for two, like we ought to do. Come on now, people sing. All the clouds have gone away. Another sunny Monday. Wish my working friends could stay. On a sunny Monday, we can just let our children play. Cause it's a sunny Monday. Yeah, we gonna go down by the bay. On a sunny Monday. I remember last Tuesday. Oh, what a Wednesday. Right before Thursday through Friday. Just me and my lady on a Saturday. But after Sunday we hope to see that all the clouds have gone away. Another sunny Monday. Wish my working friends could stay. On a sunny Monday, we can just let our children play. Cause it's a sunny Monday. Yeah, we gonna go down by the bay. On a sunny Monday. All the clouds have gone away. I wish my working friends could stay. Another sunny Monday. Let our children play. Yeah, we gonna go down by the bay. Another sunny Monday. Another sunny Monday. Another sunny Monday.
What's up, world? It's Dan from Staylefish.
Hey, this is Derek from Staylefish.
Hey, this is Chad Cavisto from the band Staylefish, and you are tuned into London Indie Underground.
One more, man, I think, and then we'll be able to just pick and choose.
Yeah, conquest. This is not a test. We put you under arrest. Yeah. We'll knock you down, we'll turn you round, and when we do, we'll wear your crown. We gonna be taking this town with this sound. So here we go, here we go, here we go. Fly through the clouds, to the blue skies, up to the sun, burning so high, just like you and I. So off we go, off we go, off we go. Fly. Talking the wolves into the night. The fire inside us is burning so bright, and no one survives. Yeah. Listen to me, sisters. Oh, my brothers joining. Trust in your vision. Let it be
Staylefish with The Conquest. And Sunny Monday by the Salads just before that here in the London Indie Underground. We're broadcasting live from the Vault Recording Studio at Adelaide and Princess here in lovely, lovely London, Ontario. I'm joined by Gary Begner.
Hello.
James Leacock.
Hi.
And Ryan Valdron.
What up?
I want to thank you guys for coming in. Really appreciate this. I'll tell you, the support we've been getting is pretty unbelievable. And the panel of guests that we had, I think, have really offered, you know, at times maybe poignant, and at times maybe vulgar. But I think we've offered, some great insight and feedback to our listeners.
Poop.
And I think tonight is definitely no exception. And, you know, this is an uncensored, unmoderated podcast. And I know, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah,
the traditionally trained radio guy says
Yay. And I know you might have some listeners that are listening in from your radio station here today.
That's all right.
So, I mean, it's not like they haven't heard the F word before. I mean, come on.
kidding.
Right? Am I right?
It's my turn?
Yeah.
Fuck.
There you go.
There
Hey. There you go.
Today I'm keeping it clean because I'm usually the one that swears constantly.
Really? I mean, you're a truck driver.
Some days, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that not an Alexis hat?
No, Baltimore.
No? Oh. Orioles. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was an Alexis on Fire hat.
Because they've been pumping their tires today.
Yes, you were earlier, so I figured maybe that was the connection.
Yeah, no.
We got Jason Rorda in behind us here, snapping some photos as always, not mic'd up, but from now until the end of the year, actually, hold on, let me pull up his tile here.
Yeah.
Scary. So, Mr. Rorda is a professionally trained photog. Been operating out of these parts here for some time, and you've been taking band photos for 20 years? Yeah. So, from now until the end of the year, which is not long, because we're bearing down here at the end of the world, December 21st. But from now until December 21st, anyway, he does have a promotion for $50, and he will come out and take some glamour shots, a la Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, make this one fluffy.
Or whatever you need. You want some Christmas photos done? I mean, here's your guy. If you got, you want to take some animal photos or pictures of food, you can do pictures of food too.
Yeah. Just
Animals
to
eating
show
food?
how much better he is on Instagram.
Yeah.
He will take high res.
Yeah, he'll follow you around. When around town, you go out for dinner, and he'll take pictures of your food. I mean, you won't be able to upload it immediately like Instagram, but that food's gonna look awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you
come
can
on.
still put your little comments about it.
Exactly.
Dude, at Curry's, off the hook. Spicy, yo.
If only we had tax dollars to pay for that. We're not
Really,
the
though.
mayor.
Really.
Damn it.
And also joining us, we had a late arrival here, an unannounced arrival. Mr. Jeff Shaughnessy. You don't have a microphone, although I'm sure if you two guys would like to cuddle up, you could probably share.
He's actually running to be Joe Fontana's new personal assistant.
Not true.
So, Jeffy, formerly of Zuul's Evil Disco.
Correct.
And you currently play in a band called Super Falcon.
Also correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Falcon?
The Falcon is some awesome 80s rock that a friend of mine, Mr. Eric Soini, got me involved with. And we're having a really good time. It's going
Also
well.
formerly from Zuul's. Eric
Correct.
Soini. Not sure if he'd be listening tonight, but I will tell you something, and I told you this off air. So, good friend of mine, Ian Gifford, was sitting at home. I know he's listening to the podcast right now. It was your sound guy for your show that you previously had this past weekend at the Wortley Roadhouse.
That's right.
And he
What's up, Ian?
set up shop and recorded your set, and he's been jamming this stuff at the house ever since. So I've had an earful of Super Falcon. It sounds awesome.
Cool.
Tons of Journey.
Yeah, Journey, Brian Adams, Hart,
Did everything.
Kim Mitchell.
So, Jeff, you work for the city, right?
I do. Yes.
So what is your job function at the city?
I do a lot of municipal addressing for
Okay.
site plans of subdivision.
Okay, so actually, I've got a question for you. So when people come up with street names, who
Yes.
is it that comes up with the street name? Is that
Question.
you?
I do play a role in that,
Yeah.
but it's my coworker. He is a subdivision and documentation coordinator. And if the developer doesn't come in with street names, then we have the power to apply street names.
Okay.
And there's an approved list to pick from. And then there's also the Streets of Honor program, which honors veterans from the London area, police officers, firefighters, and we can also pick from a list of those names.
Right.
So you'll see street signs with like poppies and stuff.
Okay.
Streets of Honor.
I have
Cool.
seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't just submit a name and say that, I want the street name London Indie Underground Boulevard.
If you were a developer, you could, as part of your plan of subdivision, submit a name that you wanted to use, and it goes to a municipal addressing group that we circulate. And the trick is it can't sound too much like an existing street name, and it can't be spelled similar to an existing street name. So there's checks and balances to go through for street names.
And they
so.
like Tim Hortons a lot. So
Yeah.
Tim Horton gift cards, donuts,
Yeah,
that type of stuff.
yeah, no.
Little payola. Eh? You guys are on the take with donuts.
That's not how it works.
I've always wondered who came up with the street names. Because I'll tell you, there's some pretty bizarre ones.
Yeah.
What's the most ridiculous street name that you've come across?
We had a proposal come in, and I'm trying to think exactly. There's a new auto mall going out in East London that was in the press out at Dundas and Crumlin, and I think they've gone with there's Driver Lane and Sun Boulevard, I think, is what they've decided to use. But the names that they originally proposed were a little more outlandish than that. I think it was Southwest Boulevard, but it was on the east end of the city, so that doesn't that didn't fly. That wasn't going to pass the checks and balances. So to
See,
speak.
that's not funny. Like if it was called like Balls Boulevard or something.
Yeah.
It'd be way better.
Hey, if there's a veteran that had the last name Balls, it could be added.
Man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just
it's
saying.
time. It's time to look for Scrote.
Choda Avenue.
Yeah, Scrote.
Penis Square.
Yeah.
It's Penis.
Yeah, it's
Kenai
Pennis
Boulevard.
Drive. Pennis Drive. Oh man, I could go into work
Fart
tomorrow and
Street.
add these to the
The
list and see if
possibility
anybody
endless.
would notice.
Could you please?
Maybe.
Please do.
I'll see what I can do.
All right. How long you been with the city?
Almost 2 years.
2 years.
It's
Oh,
great.
You know what? I
love
remember
it.
before you were working for the conservation.
Yep. Well,
Okay.
2 separate conservation authorities, the Upper Thames and
Okay.
Long Point region.
Okay. And you still managed to find time for the Super Falcon on the side?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I will always have time for the music.
So I know you just played, but do you have any other shows that are coming up?
I think we're playing December 29th. I think that's the correct date. It's a Saturday night between Christmas and New Year's
Okay.
at Norma Jean's.
Really?
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
hopefully, I think the plan is we want people to use it as like an alternative to a New Year's party.
Okay.
So it's like,
Well, it
know,
falls on
the
the Saturday,
Yeah,
right?
it's a
So it
Saturday.
makes
So
sense.
come on out, party. If you enjoy 80s rock, we're the band for you.
And you guys do it well.
Thank
You
you.
got to say you got keys.
Yeah, we got keys,
Everything.
drums. Everybody sings.
And
It's-
your singer is banging. She's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing. She's a girl that we have singing for us, and she is, without a doubt, one of the most talented singers I've ever worked with.
Barracuda? Come
Yeah,
on.
she's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite good. All right, we're going to spin some more music.
Cool.
And then we'll get back to this. We got to wrap up here pretty soon because I know you guys, well, I know, James, you definitely got to hit the road back to Milton, right? Unless you oh, okay. So
Steamville, as you call it?
Steamville.
Steamtown?
Yeah. No, that's Jer from Two Crown. Steamville? I think.
Did you just make that up?
No, I don't know. It's
Steamville?
possible.
I just want to know where this like 1980s person just came from. This it's like I'm watching the Cosby Show or something. It's like I was like,
So you guys probably can hear in the background. There's a couple of I don't know if it's seeping through the microphones, but there's a bunch of band rooms in this building. There's 35, I think, approximately. And the one band room to the left is where James, you guys jammed in the Janus Effect.
We've actually, if I may, Jimmy,
Please do.
We've had multiple jam areas in this building. We were upstairs on the far end, and then we were across the hall, and then down the hall was Boondoggle, and I played bass in that band as well. And then we moved down here at one point. Yeah, so it'd been, I think, 3 or 4 spots here.
There's a lot of history in this building.
It's
There's
great.
a lot of bands that have come through here. This
Yeah.
was the Gandharva's room here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that last week on the podcast with Dan Broadbeck. Which
Yeah, Broadbeck has tons of history with
Yeah.
the Gandharvas. Yeah.
You really need to go and check out last week's podcast. Dan came in and I just more or less turned over the microphones to him and to Joel and between the stories, I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't get too many words in edgewise, but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, why would you? The
No.
guy's telling us, these
Amazing.
fantastic tales
Yeah.
of some of the projects that he's been involved with. So check out our back catalog, www.youtube.com/London Indie UG. You can check out our back catalog. I think this is week 12.
Yeah.
We already said earlier. So
And
check it out.
The really awesome part about last week, because normally I'm not very quiet about stuff.
Yeah.
But like when in your life do you really, and this is the thing that I don't know if people really grasp onto with the show, is like when do you really in your life get an opportunity to hear a guy who's Juno nominated, Juno award winning producer just be frank and just lay back and just, like most interviews, like we were talking about Matt Wallace and Andy Wallace, anything I've ever heard from those guys, it's very serious and very,
Right.
These guys kicked back, they cut jokes, they talked about some pretty funny things, but then also gave, dropped a lot of stuff, for people to pick up on. It was just kind of rad just to hear all this knowledge going on between him and Joel. It's insane.
Yeah, exactly. And that ties in directly with what we're trying to do here. I mean, it is a bit of an informal podcast, apart from some of the messaging that we're trying to deliver. But, we want to make, the environment here very laid back and where people can contribute their thoughts and curse words and
Yeah.
not feel, unfettered.
Unfettered, there you
if you will.
And I was just going to say, on the stream right now, Phil Regebal from Red Amber Green just said the funniest street name in London he has seen is Mamelon, or Mamelon, which in French means nipple. So,
Oh, shout out to Eric Gerard of Red Amber Green.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah, he was in one of my first bands back in Iroquois Falls, Ontario, back when he was like 12 or 13. And we actually dropped him through the ceiling of this community center hall and almost killed him. It was awesome. So, yeah, we all have history,
Don't we?
with music and stuff.
We really do.
And if I can just say, I know the Gandharvas came up, but one of the most underrated records was Kicking in the Water.
Absolutely.
So for anybody listening, that if you haven't heard that record, go out, buy it, stream it, do whatever, listen to it. It's awesome.
That's great.
Amazing.
Yeah, they were definitely one of the gems that came out of London. and you know, what's even more fantastic about them is the story behind them. And you know, I will save that story for your ears. If you happen to tune into the podcast from last week, you'll be able to get up to speed on all things Gandharvas and many other acts that have come out of this area.
Yep.
So you know what? Maybe we should take this opportunity to thank the sponsors and end off with a track here, just because I mean this thing can go all night, but you know, we do have a clock to punch rather, and I want to get you up the road. So first and foremost, J Rhoda Photography. I want to thank you, Jason, for coming in week in, week out, and posting up some pictures of our mugs. This week, or last week rather, it was me that looked fat.
PHAT.
Yeah, hopefully it's back to you, Gary.
It seems it was, because he did tell me every shot he took was like, no, that's fat. No, that's fat. I can't. I think I have to go on like America's Next Top Model or something just to get it, you know, posing. It's the chair. That's all I'm going to say. It's the fucking chair.
It's the Twinkie binge.
Yeah, it's the chair. It's not me.
Maybe if you wear white because the chair's black, maybe it's
yeah,
like,
it just looks like a floating head.
Yeah,
dude, I'm so pale, I would just vanish completely. I was like when we went to Jamaica, and I was like, this is gonna suck, because you just like your first day, you're like, I have low pigment, and then you just see everybody on the beach like covering their eyes as you walk down, because you're just like sun's just beaming off you. That's me in this chair wearing a white suit. Just saying.
You're not a ginger though.
Hmm?
You're not a ginger.
No, but I've got that pale ginger complexion without the freckles.
Without the day named after you.
Yeah. Jim!
All right, so we want to take a moment to thank the Submission Academy. My good friends Steve and Jane Poulin. They're located at Dundas and Egerton.
Mm-hmm.
And their school is blowing up right now. And I know I had mentioned last week about, you know, how Steve was looking to kind of transition into doing this full time, and it looks like that's going to be the case.
Nice.
They're going to be teaching some day classes as well. So, you know, sometimes people associate jiu-jitsu with, you know, barbaric UFC combat sports. Truth is, it's actually known as the gentle art, which was designed to help the smaller man have an advantage in the event of a confrontation. But apart from learning a martial art and an old one at that, it's a great way to get in shape, to burn off those calories and to have a lot of fun. And they have a mandate where it's got to be fun. And when you come in, you set some personal goals for what it is that you want to achieve while you're there, and they work with you to help you achieve those goals. And I got to tell you, they've got a kids program too. Right now, I think they've got 15 or 20 kids, and for Halloween, all the kids dressed up as Steve, with bald head, and he's got some bushy eyebrows, so they had some eyebrows. And the photo was actually published. The Submission Academy is affiliated with Robert Drysdale, who's based out of Las Vegas. And Robert Drysdale is a 6 or 7 time world champion who works with a number of MMA fighters, including the likes of Frank Mir and Forrest Griffin and Vitor Belfort, that all train out of his academy. And Steve and Jane go down there a couple of times a year to roll and belt grading and all that kind of stuff. But they liked the photo so much that they published it to showcase Steve and his school. So I know they're very proud of their kids program, their adult program, and all things Submission Academy. So you know, if you happen to be interested, make sure you get involved.
Yeah, I was just going to say, speaking of jiu-jitsu, my 6-year-old's enrolled in the Milton Jiu-Jitsu Club.
Excellent.
And they got a great kids program, and I super support anything like that in this area.
Awesome. Well, I mean, it teaches kids discipline, and I'll tell you,
it's night
even
and day.
The feedback that Steve's brought to me, you know, he's been on our podcast before, and if you don't know him, Steve, he says it like it is. He doesn't pull any punches. And, you know, the kids come out to his school, and the first couple of times, you know, maybe they're a bit rambunctious, and he sets them straight to the point now where the kids all line up on the one side of the mat. He's in the dressing room getting ready, and he comes out and he does an inspection. You know, he checks their hands and stuff. I want to make sure that there's no cuts or anything, you know, to prevent against staph infection, make sure the kids have sanitized and whatnot. And they have now a profound respect for him. And he doesn't use intimidation tactics or anything. He calls bullshit bullshit. And, you know, the parents are loving it to the point where they're coming up to him after and saying, you know, I can't believe you said that to my kid. You said all the things that I've been wanting to say to my kid. Thank you for doing that. And it's really shown improvements in not only, you know, in the gym, but in other areas of their life too, in school, in terms of discipline. And he's got a mantra that you don't use anything that you learn there in the schoolyard. And if you do, and it gets back to him, you're out. And, you know, what's funny about that, there was a situation where I guess there was a confrontation at school, and this kid, you know, maybe pulled out a move or two or whatever the case may be. And word got back to Steve through whether it was through the parent or whatever. And so this kid came into the school, and Steve confronted him, and it's like, what happened at school? I heard about this. I heard you use that. And the kid couldn't believe him, like, that he knew about this and that he found out about this. And Steve's like, I'm everywhere. I know you. I know where you're at. I'm going to find out. So, but like I said, there's no intimidation tactics there. It's all about hard work, discipline, and having a lot of fun. Check them out. Awesome people.
Yep.
And I always do a big plug for them every week, just because I love them. Thank
They're
you.
nice guys. Nice people.
Fullcolorcards.ca. My buddy Scotty Finlayson plays in a couple bands here in town. One of them's called the Fairmounts, which you might be, or Fairmonts, rather, which you might be familiar with them. They're always playing at the Poach in the summertime. I know they're down at Barney's, and they do all kinds of covers, and these guys are fantastic. So check them out at the Poach. But further, if you happen to be in the market for business cards, this is a guy you want to go see. He'll give you a great deal, a quality product, and just an all-around good dude. You know, and I said it before, and I'll say it again every time. Sometimes it's not about the price, although certainly you want a good price. It's also about the people that you deal with. Which brings me to you, Gary.
Hello.
Shirt for Brains, which I'm going to go on record to say everybody that I've said this name to said that is the best name in screen printing. And if you can think it, he can ink it.
Unless it's racist.
Right.
Don't do any of that crap. Forget
No.
that. Just saying.
No.
There's got to be a line.
So I want my Merkin shirt.
Yeah, well, I told you. when that guy who sat on the couch comes back.
Siggy, come back, because I want a shirt.
Yeah, there's like the...
I mean, obviously we want you on the program, too, because you provide some hysterics and great stories about...
Merkin, huh?
Yeah, great stories about your troubled childhood with your German Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty funny. You got to check that out.
Yeah, that is...
Indie Stream 10. Check it out.
Freaky.
It was, yeah, it's true. He was telling us, I guess, apparently in Germany, they have...
Good Santa and bad Santa.
Yeah, so bad Santa comes to your house and kidnaps you.
I was going to say, what does he bring? But kidnaps you.
There's no naughty or nice list.
And it's not Billy Bob Thornton.
No, no.
He just comes to your house. He throws the kid in the bag with a chain or something and carries you out.
Yeah,
that's messed up.
And
Can we get him in my house?
Yeah. The most frightening part was the Santa that did this to him. His parents didn't know who this guy was.
Yeah, his dad was away.
Yeah,
his dad was away on business, and his mom thought it was like a friend, but anybody never came out and said, you know. Oh,
so you submit your kid's name into like a pool or something, or someone comes around with a clipboard.
We'll ask him next time he comes in.
Yeah, it's frightening.
It is.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Awesome.
So,
anyways, Merkin shirts for 3.
Yeah, come in, Siggy. We'll get you one.
Yep.
I think, and he wasn't joking when he said that he is going to write the Merkin song.
Yep.
And we will be happy to debut it here for you.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, we come full circle. So, want to thank you guys for coming in. Hope you had a good time.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I would love to have you anytime. You're more than welcome to come back. It's kind of an open invitation to any of our guests. And that said, any of our previous guests, if you want to come down and sit in with us while we podcast, you're more than welcome to. Our doors are open.
Yeah, got some news on the band or gigs coming up? Let us know.
Yeah, that's
can't
key
really
too.
Promote it.
That's key. If you've got any band info that you want us to filter out and bubble out to the to our listeners, please send it in to us so we can get it out there for you, because we are here to help you. We are here to support.
And
that's what we do.
What's it going to hurt?
Won't hurt
Nothing.
Helps your bandwidth for your internet.
Yeah, I don't pay for it, so.
So send us your live streaming videos over 3 hours long, and we'll play them.
Your Blu-ray rips.
Yeah.
MKV.
We'll spin it for you. All right, gentlemen, thanks again. So I want to thank our listeners for tuning in. We went a little bit late tonight. I know we've been proposing going to 10 o'clock, and sometimes the content just takes us a bit late. But thanks for sticking with us if you have. We're going to end our night here with a band called Hello Amora, which is a band that graciously sent us in a song, and we're very happy to spin it for them. So want to thank you again for tuning in. I hope you had a great night, and we'll catch you next Wednesday, December 5th, when our guest will be Hooch Parkins, and believe me, you're going to want to tune in and check this out. Good night, everybody.